Content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
We say naughty words.
The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Pop Talk is where it's at, baby.
This isn't the Sunday opening. I don't know how I'm going to survive. I'm going to call my turf.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Cash Money can put his change in my piggy bank any day. Big man knows it!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this Sunday edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk here on the Pacific414 YouTube and Rumble channels, along with Paranorman Tag, Cash Money 007. I am your host, Mike, and this afternoon we have a few stories to talk about. One of them being Dick Van Dyke making history at this past week's Emmy Awards. And the Ghost in the Shell will be celebrating its 35th anniversary with a few new projects. The producers of Fallout for Amazon have said what's going to happen with season 2. We are also going to be looking at an article from Cosmic Book News that says female-driven Furiosa kills Mad Max franchise. Women didn't show up. Well, I was the only one that showed up in my theater when I went and saw it.
I mean, there was 7, I think, when I watched it. 8, maybe. And there were a few women, but not many.
Well, I wonder how much of it was bad taste from Fury Road. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, you can't blame people if they still have a bad taste from Fury Road. That was a literal bait and switch.
I mean, but Fury Road, I guess, was still considered a success when it came out.
I think the video game was more. I think the video game was more successful. That's probably why. That's why Miller probably doesn't like the video game, because he did it better than he did with Fury Road.
That is an interesting point, Baron. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, really, I don't know what he's talking about with the game not being Mad Max.
I don't know.
It's very close, except for the fact they don't have motorcycles. Very close to World War, which is the pinnacle.
And
that's what
as I've said to you, Baron, how awesome would it have been if they had motorcycles in the game?
Oh God, can you imagine hitting one of those and watching the guys fly?
Yeah, that would have been fun. Of course, we'll also take a look at the weekend box office, and we'll also talk about Pat Sajak's final episode of Wheel of Fortune. But before we do that, gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Cash, you're above me. You go first.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
how about you, Baron?
I'm doing fine. It's a nice breezy day. So if you hear a door slam, which happened a little bit earlier, it was the wind coming through and slamming it shut. 69 degrees, dude. Awesome.
Yeah, 69, dude.
Yeah, dude. Come on, bro. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's doing pretty good. I mean, I'm still aching from the other day, but not enough that I'm not here. So, pump myself with some child's chewable morphine, and here I am,
That's very nice, and it's always good to see DJ Ronnie G here. He says I will be working on Linux training at work while I watch. Awesome.
I know
He
where
also
my
says
crusade is.
I'll appreciate the conversation. I didn't
Yeah,
even know he was alive.
no,
Yes,
his
Dick Van Dyke
brother.
is still
Mhm,
with us. Unfortunately, his brother
mhm.
Jerry
Yeah.
passed away a few years
Very
ago.
funny guy. Very
hmm
funny guy
Yeah.
too. Mm-hmm.
Underrated.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And DJ Ronnie G says I remember his son from Battlestar Galactica, 1980.
hmm Barry.
And he says, I'm good, but I need to find my copy of Crusade before Thursday.
Oh,
You know where mine is. I know exactly where mine is. It's with my Babylon 5 collection underneath the TV and the console and the special case to keep them safe. Yeah.
And he says he actually has two legit Crusade box sets.
oh,
Nice.
Mm.
Other than that, the turtles are good. Last I checked.
nice.
Meanwhile, the
Turtles.
turtles
Turtles.
are at home throwing a party.
That's right. They are
Nerdle,
with
nerdle,
pizza.
nerdle. Yeah. Yeah. Gonna show up and there's like 3 pizza vans from 3 different pizza places out there.
They got in that ooze, man. What's going on? It really happened this time.
But we appreciate everybody being here this Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, depending on where you're at. Of course, it could also be Monday for you. So happy Monday to those of you who are already experiencing the Mondays.
Monday, Monday. Don't like that day. Monday, Monday. What did I do that for? Somehow I hit a button. I got the Omen Games thing coming up. I don't want the Omen game thing coming up. God, you. Ugh.
Well, let's go ahead
Never
and get
mind.
into our first article. Yeah, I hit the Omen game sometimes too on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how many of you have watched the Fallout series? I know Cash and Baron have, and
Yeah, and I was rather pleased with it.
Yeah, it feels a lot like the game, even though
Mm-hmm.
the director came out and said this is not exactly for you. Well, I mean, it didn't.
Well,
It's weird, obviously, but it's okay.
can I make it? I think he said that because he wanted to. You know, we have so many of those trendies and stuff like that. I wonder if that was directed towards them, and by saying that, lowering the expectations, you watch it, and boom. And really, yeah, he's right.
Mhm.
He's not making it for the fans. He's making it for the game to the screen, which
Mhm.
means we're not going to go out there and do needless uh, fan nods. The basic
No.
Burberry type of stuff. Remember this one and New Vegas? Remember this one from Fallout 3? Remember
Yeah,
this one
right.
from
remember,
Yep. Mhm.
So I think he was perfectly cromulent saying that, and I think that only made it better.
Right. I mean, like I said, there's a few blemishes on this, but nothing major, nothing to hurt this show, and I would always tell
No,
people that. Mhm.
no, not at all. Not at all.
Mm-mm.
I mean, every show has something where you roll your eyes, honestly. Even
Yeah.
Babylon 5.
Yes, that's true.
yeah,
That is very
Ray
true.
17 is missing.
It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be any kind of pandering to say, "Oh, why did you do that?"
No, right. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I always mention it for Deep Space Nine. Move along home.
Yeah. Oh, best episode ever.
Code of Honor for Next Generation.
Oh, that one's rough. That is just such all over the place. You're like, "Am I
Well, you didn't
supposed
like
to
Amos.
like this, or am I
Yeah,
not
you don't
supposed?"
like Amos and Andy in space?
Uh,
I don't like that episode in
I
general.
don't know. It's just weird, man. I'm like, am I
Yeah.
supposed to like this or not like this? Am I supposed to care
Mhm.
about this? Yeah, I kind of remember
Well,
it.
what is it? Shades of Grey or whatever? The clip episode, season 2 finale.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still would say that whole thing about the is probably up there with Deanna and her nightmares and her.
Oh,
Yeah. The loss.
Yeah.
Oh, the loss. Oh, that episode is just like, I don't know how to feel about this.
Well, Paul will tell you it's one of the best episodes because it was all about Deanna Troy. His weak spot.
I don't hate Deanna Troy, but it's just like that when she gets her headaches and stuff, I go, oh boy.
I mean, honestly, I don't think she was the best character on the show. And that's not to be mean. That's not to be mean.
I didn't hate her either, but yeah,
No.
Baron and Cash, I'm sensing hatred from you.
Hold on, let me find my Megatron picture now.
The deep, consuming hatred. I mean, that's the end of the nutshell.
Yeah. Really hard to write for a character like that.
So we have this article by Joey Parr from Geek Tyrant, and it was posted 2 days ago, and it says the first season of Fallout was absolutely fantastic. I still have to watch the rest of the series. I've only watched 2 episodes.
You're not gonna regret it.
You're not gonna regret it, especially if you like the games. But I understand people like Spock and other people who didn't like the games. It's gonna be hard for them to enjoy Fallout, and they may not get tired of this apocalypse kind of scenario. People do get tired of that too, but there's so much more going on, of course, than that in this show.
The creative team did such a great job of bringing this story to life, and fans are excited to see how the story continues with season 2. As you know, developing a series like this is a lot of work, and a second season isn't something that we're going to see anytime soon. But the creative team is working hard to get it to us as fast as humanly possible. During an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, showrunners Graham Wagner and Geneva Robertson Duartet, I don't know if I said the last name right, but I tried, talked about season 2 of the series and what time frame audiences can expect Fallout to return. Wagner said, I'm hesitant to give a date. Excuse me. I'm hesitant to give a date that will be taken out of context and live on Reddit for a year or so. But we are going as fast as we possibly can, and we've got a lot of heavy lifting from season 1 already done. He added, we have sets, assets, visual effects that are already done. We are hitting the ground running this season. We're going to be pedal to the metal to get season 2 out as fast as humanly possible. That's great that they are working fast to get Fallout season 2 up and rolling, but I don't mind if they take their time to make sure the story is solid and the scripts are in the best shape they can be in. Well, you want that from any TV series.
Yeah. Dworet, it's pronounced, I guess. So yeah, it's good.
Right.
Oh, thank you, Cash.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
He's always here to humiliate us, and we like.
I'm not sure. Whatever. Oh man, hilarious.
We'll always bring up commerce.
Yes, yes, commerce. Yes, we'll bring up some other stuff too. But yeah, it was funny. It was that same day Baron was making mistakes. It was just funny.
We all were. It was a bad day.
It was a bad day. But we're gonna get those Japanese names right as much as possible. We're gonna get them.
We'll try.
Well, one of these days we'll be able to pronounce all the Japanese names we see in front of us. One of these days.
I think I'm learning Japanese.
Thank goodness Google helps people with this because those names are rough. They can be rough, just like names from India and some of this other stuff. Nigeria, these can be rough names to pronounce.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, who's the star of Doctor? No, Shitty Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's his name.
I've seen a few things about the most recent episode of Doctor Who. It's like I'm glad I'm not watching.
Oh come on! Everyone's saying it's the bestest ever.
It's funny too because that other guy is from Glee and stuff, and like nobody even probably knew what his sexuality is, and like it's just like, dude, nobody cares. Like they liked his character. That's all that he was on Broadway before. Nobody cares. The guy can obviously sing, but that's not the point. It's just like Doctor Who is just. It's like, yeah, you can like this if you want to, or you can hate this if you want to hate this. Of course, that makes other people mad for whatever reason, but Doctor Who is just going to keep going. A lot of stuff. Maybe it deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, things sometimes, and naturally, everything needs to come to an end eventually because it starts getting worn down. I mean, in some ways, the original series after 26 seasons, and the BBC, the way they were treating it and now allowing it to expand, it was probably a good time to put it on the burner because it was never officially canceled back then, to be honest with you. But everything comes to an end, and it's best to go out. It needs to go out on a high note. It should go out on your terms, and that's what I say. And the big thing is right now, Doctor Who is dead. I mean, I'm sorry, it is. Even with the influx of money from Disney, who has no money, and being on Disney minus, it's still not grabbing because it's become such an agenda one, and what people are saying, the stars, the producers, and all that, basically make it known that we don't want you who have been the longtime fans, and that we've talked about that is with everything out there. We don't want you long-term fans. We want to have the people who don't watch a show, never have watched a show, and never will watch the show. That's why I thought it was kind of brilliant that Christopher Nolan said that this wasn't for the fans.
You mean Jonathan Nolan?
Oh, yeah. Jonathan Nolan, thank you. Yeah, I think it was brilliant that he said that because I'm sure people were signing up to watch that right away, going ready to just rip it apart.
Right,
and they're going, "Hey, wait a moment, no, this feels like Fallout."
Yes. Yeah, it does.
So I think it was a brilliant move on his part. And, I think he actually planned it that way.
Yep. This is also going on with The Boys too. And, and just like the TDS that guy has. I mean, I'm just being honest. And as Vor said, because we had a talk about this the other day, he does this every time. And I'm like, well, you've been watching the show forever, man. Do you feel, he says, like, there's little pieces in there, but not really. I said, well, it's just, he's just stabbing himself in the foot by keep saying these things every year. But if people are watching it, then it's not exactly, he's getting the wrong people, as Vor said, to watch this thing. But it's backfiring on him.
Well, again, it's best to keep politics out. And when I mean politics, I'm talking about Orange Man bad or senile crapper in the Oval Office.
Right.
I mean, you start getting so focused on that, you don't see the forest for the trees and what you're trying to do. And that's write a story for people to like.
Yeah,
and we need to get back to that. And maybe Jonathan Nolan saying this isn't for the fans was one of those things. Don't expect us to. Even though Fallout in many ways is anti-capitalist, it's anti a lot of things. You can see it throughout the whole thing. They're taking shots at basically what they are.
Right.
Which is nothing new. Gene Roddenberry did the same damn thing. Everything that he was sitting back screaming about for the Star Trek universe, he was the complete total opposite. So I don't know. But at least it's still a good show. You can appreciate it.
Yes.
And Joey Parr finished up this paragraph of his article by saying, I don't want them to sacrifice quality to push it out faster. No, nobody does. That's one of the things that we notice when we're watching current day movies and television shows, how quickly they try to push it out there. And you can tell that they didn't take their time on the script or even on the filming of the movie or TV show.
Right. And the thing is that's what's made the original Battlestar Galactica suffer, because it was basically only agreed to do the 3-part, or the 3-hour movie, which became a 3-part episode, or I think it was 3, and then of course the follow up with the Lords of Cobalt, which was a 2-hour, and that was all agreed to, but it became such a hit boom on TV, the studios pushed and it's like, oh, we got to get this going. We got to get this going right now. And they weren't prepared for that.
Yeah.
And, like they were saying, that literally they're getting the scripts hot off the press before they're going to do their scenes and that type of rushing out there. On the other side, though, and we've mentioned this before, a lot of these people take so much time between seasons. You only have 8 episodes. You're going to wait a whole friggin' year before you do that. No, you can step it up a little bit. It's, that's not hard to do. The first season of Red Dwarf, basically the first 2 seasons, there's 6 episodes each, but I think they were both in the same year because it's like, okay, it's not hard to do that. Boom, boom. And then it became kind of sporadic after that. It became yearly and then every couple of years, now every decade, but that's just it. A show like Fallout, especially if they have the idea and the layout where they're going to go, they should be able to step it up. They got a lot of the sets already. They got a lot of the plans. They have a lot of knowledge. Heck, the video games are perfect storyboards and concept art for them to draw off of. They have the actors and actresses. It's just a matter of making sure they can get them signed on and everyone there to do the show without having conflicts that way. Yeah, I mean, they could get this going fast and easy because I know that they have all that stuff right now. And don't rush it. But then again, don't drag your feet. And I think that's exactly one thing to kind of sit back and say, we're not going to drag our feet like The Mandalorian. We're not going to drag our feet like a lot of these other ones at Disney minus. And that's just it,
Yep. It does say in the article, the showrunners also addressed their original 5-season plan for the series, saying that given the success of the series per season, 5 seasons is suddenly feeling a little more appealing. Yes, but also keep in mind, this is Amazon. They have been known to cancel series.
Right.
Yeah, they're up and down with stuff. They have stuff that they Invincible, right? Yeah, Invincible.
Yeah.
The animated one, the animation one based on the comics by Robert Kirkman, I think it is. Yeah. That's been a success, but then people are talking about how much the change is coming in the 3rd season, and that may bother people. So I don't know. Amazon's up and down. Yeah, me too. Amazon's up and down with this stuff. So you see, of course, Rings of Power, and then you see stuff like Fallout. So, go with stuff more on the Fallout side. That's what I would say than Rings of Power. But,
Or One Piece, which is, of course, Netflix.
Or One Piece, or Arcane, which will be out next year.
Yeah, about time.
Next season. I know, but if they're not ready, they're not ready. So we'll see what.
I know. I mean, it takes a lot of work on that art, man. I mean,
and then of course, Lucy in this is the voice of for fuck's sakes,
Jinx.
Jinx, excuse me, yeah, Jinx.
I knew it. You didn't.
You got it.
One for the Baron. One for the Baron. Yeah.
Who I would say, of course, is more like a Harley Quinn type character, and that's why I would tell people after the first 3 episodes of Arcane, then the show just really starts picking up.
Well, you see her. Yeah, you see her. You actually see why she becomes what she is.
Right.
And
she was Powder first, and then she becomes Jinx. Hey, I remember that. Okay, good.
Yeah. Hey, good job, man. Good job. And I didn't have to prompt you in the private chat either. Hey, Cash, it was Powder.
Come on, it was Powder. Yeah.
It was Powder.
That's great.
As for what audiences can expect, Robertson Dorrit notes that they're really grateful to have the opportunity to bring to the screen all the things that didn't quite fit in season 1. Based on the video game series from Bethesda Game Studios, Fallout is the story of haves and have-nots in a world in which there's almost nothing left to have. 200 years after the apocalypse, the gentle denizens of luxury Fallout shelters are forced to return to the radiated hellscape their ancestors left behind, and are shocked to discover an incredibly complex, gleefully weird, and highly violent universe waiting for them. The series
Oh
stars,
yeah.
yeah, the series stars Ella Purnell as Lucy, an optimistic vault dweller with an all America can do spirit. Her peaceful, idealistic nature is tested when she is forced to the surface to rescue her father. Aaron Moulton is Maximus, a young soldier who rises to the rank of squire in the militaristic faction called the Brotherhood of Steel. He will do anything to further the Brotherhood's goals of bringing law and order to the wasteland. Walton Goggins is Ghoul, a morally ambiguous bounty hunter who holds within him a 200-year history of the post-nuclear world. Get it right, Mike.
I laugh because I know I do it.
These disparate parties collide when chasing an artifact from an economic. eg- Come on, Mike. You've said this for many times in your life. Now you can't say it. Enigmatic researcher that has the potential of radically change the power dynamic in this world. The series cast also includes Kyle MacLachlan of Twin Peaks fame,
Mm-hmm.
Moises Arias, the king of Staten Island, Sarita Chaudhary. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Michael Emerson, Leslie Uggams, and Francis Turner, Johnny Pemberton, Rodrigo Luzzi, and Annabelle O'Hannigan. Ah, yes, O'Hannigan.
Mm-hmm.
And Zelia Mendez Jones. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm glad the producers want to get season 2 underway, but again,
Mm-hmm.
don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Yeah.
Take your
Don't rush.
time.
Yeah, don't rush it, but don't drag your feet. That's all I got to say. Because dragging your feet is just as bad.
Mm-hmm. And hello to Leia Rose, the princess of YouTube.
Hello, Leia.
And the president and sole member of the Phil McCracken fan club.
She also greets Cash. She
Chardery.
also
Okay. Just wanted to look that up. Chardery. Okay.
all right.
Mhm.
Leia Rose also says hello to Baron.
Thank you.
And of course, Phil. But yeah, I hope they take their time as far as getting the scripts ready. But they shouldn't rush it.
No.
No.
They're like, oh, this could go 5 seasons. It could, and then Amazon could mess around, just like CBS and some of these other
Mm-hmm.
hit shows that were on their networks. And like, what they did with Firefly is still outrageous, but like Fox, what they did, they just hated Firefly for whatever reason. I guess they hate this whole Western meets sci-fi thing, even though a lot of fans liked it and liked it so much that they actually funded the movie to finish the whole series. And they got the proper ending that they deserve. So that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the sad thing is they didn't get the proper beginning because they
No,
screwed
they
it up
didn't.
completely by showing an episode that was few in instead of the first episode. It's like, well, what the hell? When I sat down and watched, it's like, what the hell's going on? What's this all about? Come on, man, what's going on, man?
No,
You know,
exactly.
mhm.
That was the case with Fox as a network, just not caring what order they air an episode.
That's
Right.
ridiculous. Just
Which isn't the first time a network has done that. NBC did that with Star Trek.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, they should have started out with Where No Man's Gone before, just on the factor that it had a different look.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see a progression, but people don't think that. No, especially back in those days.
All right, so moving on to our next story here. Go ahead and
Another
put it on
story?
screen before I
Wow.
share it into the chat. Yes, Baron. Yes.
Par- Baron's easily amused. He's just like, ooh,
I
piece of
am.
candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
You know it, man. You know it.
I didn't realize that Ghost in the Shell is celebrating 35 years, but hey,
Frick.
It's awesome.
Wow. I mean, well, I'll let you guys continue on with that. But yeah, I saw that not too long ago, and I got a couple opinions about it.
okay.
Not bad necessarily. Not bad necessarily.
All right. So this comes from Bounding into Comics, courtesy of Nerdigans Inc. And it says Ghost in the Shell celebrates 35th anniversary with new anime project, updated 4K restoration of Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence. This was posted on June 7th, so only a couple days ago.
Hmm.
As the world outside our doors continues to ever devolve into a cyberpunk dystopia, Bandai Namco Filmworks has declassified a pair of new Ghost in the Shell projects. One a brand new project, and the other a new restoration of a fan favorite film. On May 25th, Bandai Namco Filmworks announced that in honor of the 35th anniversary of Ichiro Masamune's, again, sorry,
I'm
seminal,
sorry.
seminal manga, they had greenlit a new animated cinematic entry in the Ghost in the Shell franchise. Producer Produced by Science Saru and the Ghost in the Shell series production committee, consisting of Bandai Namco Filmworks, the manga's publisher, Kandasha, as well as the anime's longtime production studio, Production IG. The new film will reportedly be based on the Golden Globe Award nominated animated film The Docking, as well as the TV anime segments Don't Mess with the Video Lab and The Color of My Heart. Further upon its release, the film will be entered into NSC International Animated Film Festival 2024 feature length competition. The article goes on to say, and though fans will have to wait until 2025 to see the major's next official sortie, June will see Ghost in the Shell offer a holdover in the form of a 3-day theatrical screening of a brand new 4K restoration of Mamoru Oshie's 2004 award-winning Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence, as produced in honor of the film's own 20th anniversary. Per synopsis of groundbreaking film provided by G Kids official website, in the year 2032, well, that's not long from now,
I just laugh because all the things they're saying, 2022, and it's like, yeah, the world didn't look like that back then. I know, I was there.
the line between humans and machines has been blurred almost beyond distinction. A string of murders perpetrated by a prototype android model has drawn the attention of Public Security Section 9, a unit specializing in counter cyber terrorism. With none of the victims' families pressing charges, suspicions arise regarding the nature of the androids and their production company. It continues in the course of the investigation. The almost entirely cyber bodied agent Bato and his still human partner Togusa uh, embark on a journey through a technological dystopia, taking ferocious Yakuza thugs, taking on ferocious Yakuza thugs, devious hackers, government bureaucrats, and corporate criminals to uncover the shocking truth behind the crime. The 4K restored Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence is scheduled to be screened in Japanese with English subtitles, select North American theaters on June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Ahead of the nationwide 4K screening, the New York Japan Society, G Kids, and Anime NYC will be holding a special double screening of the 4K restored editions of both Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence on June 15th. Okay. Well, that seems pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the Ghost in the Shell not too long ago, and they had the two versions. They did that, like they had the original '80s one, and then or was the '80s? I can't remember. But then they had the where they put some CGI and some effects. And I tried watching that one first. It was just too disjointed, going between the classical animation and then when they were throwing in the CGI. So I just screw it. I'm going to watch the original. But yeah, what a story that is. This is cyberpunk all the way, man. All the way, if you like cyberpunk. And I can see why this has been a hit amongst fans of not only anime and also stuff with the dystopian future of cyberpunk and the various stuff like that. So very good.
Yeah, I ended up watching the original Ghost in the Shell movie a couple years ago, and ended up liking it so much where I bought the DVD because one, it was cheaper than the Blu-ray.
Right.
But I really enjoy it.
Yeah. It goes fast too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's amazing with some of these movies. You sit down and watch it, and it's like you blink your eyes, like, oh, it's done. But it's like you don't feel unsatisfied about it. It keeps you watching. It keeps you sucked in, and you're so entranced on it. Time flies fast, and it's over with. It's like, oh, can I have more, please?
Mm-hmm. Now, I will admit, because I've heard that it's not very good, I haven't watched the live action with Scarlett Johansson, but I might just watch it just to see it for myself and go, is it going to be one of those guilty pleasure movies where you watch it because it's so bad it's good type of thing? Come on, Mike, speak type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of tempted to see it now. I mean, really am, but I just have to sit back and say, if anyone hasn't seen it, go for the original. Don't go for that with the CGI. You're going to enjoy yourself if you haven't seen it, and then maybe move to the. And if you saw the Scarlett Johansson film, and you didn't like it, well, why don't you try going and seeing the original animated one? Maybe that will change your mind about the story. I can't say I haven't seen that yet, but that one yet.
It's going to be one of those things. When and if I do end up watching the live action one, I'll be honest with you guys. I'll give you my opinion. If I like parts of it, I'll let you know. If I don't like parts of it, you'll hear about it.
What?
I know somebody coming out with their opinion that they either like something or didn't like something.
Mike, we're an echo chamber. Don't you ever forget that again.
I still need
hello.
I still need to get back to watching Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. That was really good from what I've seen so far. So I got to get back to watching that. That was 2002. Jeez. That's crazy.
Time is fun when you're having flies, right?
That's right. Right.
So, anything else you guys want to say about this before we move on? Anything that anybody in Rumble or YouTube want to say about it?
My thing, like I said before, just go watch the original anime and enjoy it. And it's got violence. It's just so you know, this is a very mature thing. It's got bloody violence. It's got nudity. Yes. This is hardcore sci-fi cyberpunk. But there is a story behind it, and it can make you confuse you a little bit. But the important thing about that confusion, it makes you think, what's going on? What's the ramifications of this? What's going on in the story? I ain't going to say a damn thing because I don't want to ruin it. Other than that,
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to our next story, which by the headline you could say it's a feel-good story. We need some of those.
Yay!
Well, I got
Feel
up this
good,
morning.
feel good,
Feel
feel
good.
good.
Feel good. Well, I figure I got up this morning. That's a pretty good feel good story.
It's always nice when you can wake up on the other side of the dirt.
Yeah, and when you hurt so much, you realize, yeah, I'm not dead yet.
You just might make it to 100. You just might.
Oh, please don't.
Don't jinx it, Cash.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no.
I hope so.
He's gonna
Don't
say that, and I
jinx
will
it.
make. The thing is, he's saying that, and I will make it to 100. It's like, come on, man.
I hope he does. I do.
I've been trying to destroy my liver and lungs for I don't know how many years, and
Oh
you're
boy.
wishing me to go to 100.
Yes, Baron. That's what I'm wishing for. We're gonna put you in a tube if we have to. We're gonna make you a science experiment, and you're gonna come out like something out of Star Trek.
No, I'm going to be a head in a jar like Futurama.
Oh, you
That's
want to
what
be
you want.
Futurama? You
Yeah, and you know what's going to
like
be?
Nixon?
All
Like
three
Nixon?
of- yeah,
All three of us are still gonna be doing Pop Talk.
Yeah.
In
and
head
the
in a
jars
jar.
of head. Yeah.
Oh, we're still doing Pop Talk after all these years. How you doing,
Yeah.
guys? Oh, shoot, man.
Yeah. And they're going
We're
to come
just
by for
ahead
feeding
now.
time. Yeah, they'll come by for feeding time, and there's Catchman. Oh, the food. Oh, look, food. Oh, look. That's what we should do. Someone should do us up as Futurama in the jars.
That would be awesome.
Every time we talk, it moves, and
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
man, I'm
Oh,
still
wow.
upset. They said by the year 2000 we were supposed to have flying cars, and then we get other idiots who go, "Oh, we do."
2015 was when
They
we
lied.
were supposed to
They
have
lied
flying
to
cars.
us, man.
Where's my
First they said
hoverboard, man?
2000. Yeah, first they said 2000. By the year 2000, this was people in the 1950s or something. They were saying, I know it didn't happen, but people say, well, we do have flying cars. No, shut up. Those aren't flying cars.
Well,
And I
they're-
want my self-hydrating pizza too.
Yeah. Oh.
Can you guys imagine the well, it would be magic too, but can you guys imagine the traffic that might have? I guess it would be like the Jetsons, right, in a way?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really.
And a motorist crashed on the roof of a house today.
Mhm.
Everybody was fine except for the house.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's right.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to look up something here. We can keep on, but
Yeah.
the big thing is where can I find it? I'm
They're
trying to.
still testing
Oh,
those.
okay. Well, they
ejects.
say it takes place in the year 2062, the Jetsons. But I think I saw
2062,
something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they were inspired by a book with the housing up above. In 1975, that they were predicting us to live in cities like they had there, where we're suspended in the air.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, they failed, but it's
Hey,
okay. It was
hey,
just a
but they
prediction.
got Zoom right. They got Zoom right.
True.
True.
Right? Yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so but we don't have the robots. We don't have they have the TV set watch that they had there. We got those now. It's like, wow, there's some things they got right, but I want my flying car.
I want my flying car that
want my-
transforms into a briefcase.
I want my DeLorean, dang it, or something. The wheels turn and
I want something flashy.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah,
The Baron Mobile.
Yep.
there we go. Mm-hmm.
But we have a feel-good story here for you all this
Yay!
morning, afternoon, evening on Pop Talk. This is by Michael Schneider. It's from Variety. It was posted on Friday. Dick Van Dyke makes history as oldest Daytime Emmys winner ever at 98.
Woo.
Huzzah!
Yes. Oh, Rob!
Boom.
Legendary actor and comedian Dick Van Dyke has made history winning the 2024 Daytime Emmy Award for guest performer in a daytime drama series via his spot on Peacock's Days of Our Lives at 98. That makes Van Dyke the oldest actor to receive a Daytime Emmy win. Van Dyke came into Friday's 51st Daytime Emmy Awards already making a mark as the oldest Daytime Emmys nominee ever. Night
Wow.
one of the 51st annual Daytime Emmy Awards took place live on Friday, June 7th, and that was on CBS, from the Westin Bonaventure Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. I feel like a spy from nighttime television, Van Dyke joked. I'm the oldest nominee in history. I can't believe it. I was playing old men all my life. If I had known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. Van Dyke said he had a wonderful time on days and said during one serious scene he started laughing and ruined the shot. I'm 98 years old. Can you believe it? This tops a lifetime of 80 years in the business. I love you. God bless. In a special four-part story arc, Van Dyke appeared on days as mystery man Timothy Robichuk. I don't know if I said
I
that
think it's
right.
Rabichot. Maybe Rabichot is a French word. When they have those X at the end, it's like a show, Rabichot type of thing. I don't know. It's French. The French are silly.
Here's how it was described. Van Dyke plays a man of mystery and amnesic. Marlena Deidre Hall is tasked with helping Van Dyke's character bridge gaps in his memory. To achieve this, she calls on John Black and Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, for help. Between memory exercises, there may be a musical number or two. Van Dyke wound up on days via his friendship with E. Drake Hodgson, who plays John Black on days. Van Dyke appeared on the September 1st, September 4th, September 8th, and September 14th episodes of Days with his wife, Arlene Silver, on the September 1st episode. Van Dyke beat out a nominee field that included Lyndon Ashby as Cameron Christian, The Young and Restless, Ashley Jones as Dr. Bridget Forrester in Bold and the Beautiful, all shows my mom used to watch. Allie Mills as Heather Weber in General Hospital, and Guy Pearce as Mike Young, Neighbors, Amazon Freebie. It says, after working as a DJ, comedian, and MC on local radio and TV programs, Van Dyke joined CBS Morning Show as host with Walter Cronkite as his news anchor and Barbara Walters as his copywriter. He became a television star on CBS with the sitcom The Dick
Van Dyke Show.
Yes.
The Dick Van Dyke Show. Sorry, I had to cough, so I wanted to mute myself.
Oh, yeah, that's what we got the cough button for.
On which he played television comedy writer Rob Petrie. The CBS birthday special will return to the iconic set of the Dick Van Dyke Show, as well as feature archival footage from across Van Dyke's career, encompassing. Sorry,
It's all good.
I'm like Cash with Commerce.
Yeah, right. It's all
Mary
right.
Poppins.
We'll get the words right, whatever it takes.
Bye Bye Birdie, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
Woohoo!
and more. Van Dyke has seen a lot on CBS lately. Last year, the network ran in his 98th birthday with Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic, an entertainment special honoring the legendary actor and performer. He was honored with the Kennedy Center Honors in 2021, which also aired on CBS. Also, Van Dyke won previous daytime Emmys in 1984 in the Outstanding Performer in Children's Programming for CBS Library.
I didn't know about some of those. It's very fascinating. Yep.
Well, yeah.
And real quick, hello to the Padawannabe. Good to see you.
He's had an amazing career.
Yeah.
Oh, hasn't he?
Amazing. Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, he even played the because Jerry was on The Middle, right? The Middle, and and he even
That's
showed up
right,
one
yeah.
time on The Middle as Jerry Van Dyke's older brother, the uncle. And I remember that show was good watching, seeing that those two together. But yeah, I mean, think about Dancing with the Penguins as a chimney sweep, and what was it,
Yes.
Mary Poppins? Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
how
Yep.
fantastic it is! There he is dancing and all that, basically to what will be painted in later. And even when he was on The Middle, he was doing some of his shtick. The
I
dance.
still can't push myself to watch the second Mary Poppins movie. I may have seen clips of it, but there's nothing like the original, man. Nothing.
I tried when I had Netflix and it was on Netflix and I just couldn't get through it.
It's just
I guess I blocked it out of my memory.
It's one of those movies where it's like, look, this is just another example of something that probably just doesn't need a sequel. The first Mary Poppins is fine. It is. And I know there's been some controversy about it, some nonsense, but
yeah, there always is.
So
always is.
Everyone can enjoy Mary Poppins. Anyways, I
have nothing against Emily Blunt, but she's
I
not
like
Mary Poppins.
I don't have anything against her either. I like her in certain things. It just
yeah. I mean, it's again why because you think about a Julie Andrews, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and Dick Van Dyke. I mean, you take a look at that awesome cast and how they did everything.
Mm-hmm.
How can you replicate that? I mean, you need to replicate all that feel in there, and that's something they don't want to do today.
Yep.
And they don't even want to. Study Julie Andrews. Study how she did that. No, we don't want to do that. All that across the board, and be honest with you, I blanked out that they remade or had the second one or whatever. Mary I mean, honestly, I did. Even until you said something today, it's like, oh, that's right, they did it. Thank you, guys. I had it locked away. Why did you open up
Too
that
bad.
door?
It did happen, unfortunately.
I hate you all.
He's getting away from his mic. So yeah, I know, right? I hate you all. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, even the movie Mr. Banks was very interesting. Like finding out this whole story about how the original author of Mary Poppins did not like how things were going.
No.
And and then when she finally saw it, it was very touching to her. Great story. Just absolutely great story. And I recommend anybody who wants to know more about Mary Poppins and things behind the scenes, watch Mr. Banks.
Well, and be careful because it's a very biased movie.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
I just want to sit back and say, watch
I enjoyed
it,
but
it's not a true story. I mean,
no, I got you. Yeah,
based on.
Yes.
I just want to make sure people know that because
right.
Disney gets so much hate these days for no reason, other than the fact that he started the studio that everybody's, leeching onto like parasites.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got to say about that. But Dick Van Dyke. I mean, Dick Van Dyke has really gone after the woke.
Mm-hmm.
There was.
What does he have to lose at his age?
Nothing.
No, right. I mean, even if he's saying he's having like short-term memory losses now. You're 98 years old, and again, you went through the whole record of his stuff, and it's not the whole record. There's even more stuff that he did. It's like imagine his life, working where he did in the evolution of his career. It went from one end to the other end of the spectrum in media and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to sit in awe of this man's talent. He's tried to, he's young at heart. You just look at his face. He's young at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see the wheels are still turning up there.
Yes.
You can tell he's enjoying life and enjoying people. And at 98, to be able to go out and maybe it was 97 when he did the show because of the year difference, but still at that age,
Yes.
to be able to do that 4-part episode, like that, and the character, and doing serious work, which he can do. But it's kind of interesting fact, he was not the choice for the Dick Van Dyke Show. That was going to be a Carl Reiner show, Man of the House. And you can still find somewhere, just look it up. I don't know if it's on YouTube or, you can find it other places, but look up Man of the House and you can see what the pilot was with Carl Reiner and how he was approaching the show. They told Carl, no, don't, you can't, So Carl Reiner went behind the scenes and they got Dick Van Dyke and it became the Dick Van Dyke Show. And of course, he had Mary Tyler Moore, and she was kind of known before on a detective series. I can't remember what it is. And they only showed her voice, they only showed her legs, and you only heard her voice in that. But look at that, how his show propped her, gave her props and got her going for her career. Going to Mary Tyler Moore and her movie career, and
with Ted Knight, and yep.
And of course, needless to say, Carl Reiner for crying out loud. You got Maury Amsterdam and Rose Marie for crying out loud. They've been around for so long. Vaudeville and all that. It's just, what a hell of a cast.
Definitely.
And all I gotta say after watching that show, I've never been able to look at a walnut the same ever again. Never. Beware of walnuts out there. You probably never seen that episode, did you? Typical tip. I'm Cash Money. I don't like black and white.
That's not true. I've watched all of Lucy. How dare you, Baron? You know what?
About you, Mike? You know that reference, Mike, from the Dick Van Dyke Show?
It's been so long since I've watched the Dick Van Dyke Show.
It was making fun of movies like what is it? Where you get possessed by the aliens. I got a mental block on the name. I had it there. They remade it with
what, the Body Snatchers? Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Thank you. I knew there was Invasion in there, but it was kind of making fun of that. And basically, it was like in the walnuts in special walnuts or whatever. And it was basically people were getting possessed that way. It was a dream. It was a dream episode. And kind of the finale of the dream, he opens up a door to like a closet or whatever, and all these walnuts come out and start burying him. And he's screaming in terror, and then he wakes up from it. But it's because he's been watching some of these movies, and that was his nightmares. Mary, his wife is game possessed, and everybody else, and they're all acting strange. It was a good episode. It's good poking fun at that 50s science fiction genre.
Very nice. All right, and looks like Deadline might have our weekend box office, so we're going to go to that next.
Wow. Okay. Just a second. Let me get my snorkel and gear up because I want to. I know how deep this is going to go now underwater. This is going to not be good.
You might be surprised, Baron.
I might be surprised. Okay, grab your floaties.
Grab your floaties. That's right.
Yeah, get your floaties. Grab your floatie. Whatever. Get
buckle your safety belts and all kinds of stuff.
I might be surprised.
Make sure your seat and tray table are in the full upright positions.
Yeah, make sure your stewardesses are in their full and upright position too. Don't forget that.
Bad Boys, Ride or Die, speeds to 105 global opening. Garfield nears 200 million worldwide international box office.
You gotta be kidding me! Wow.
And this is by Nancy Tartaglione.
Wow.
Well, Bad Boys' budget was 100 million. So.
Sony's Bad Boys 2. Well, Bad Boys 4. I don't know why I said 2.
It's all right.
How about 3? 6.
Ride or Die.
1.
Pummeled pre-weekend opening projections, coming in with 104.6 million. Might as well just round it up to 5, which they did. global bow, including 48.6 million from the international box office. While the overseas debut is slightly off 2020's Bad Boys for Life, which did 50.3 million in like-for-like offshore markets at today's exchange rates, the film had strong legs either way. Ride or Die's start gave some much-needed oomph to summer turnstiles. Its launch is 58% bigger than Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. The Will Smith, Martin Lawrence re-team from directors Adil El Arbite. I'm trying, folks. I'm trying. And Bilal Falal has driven overseas by Europe with 19.3 million across the region. It set new regional records for the Bad Boys franchise in Latin America and the Middle East with 10 million and 9.5 million, respectively. Of the 60 markets released this session, the UK leads with 4.9 million. And then you have Mexico at 4.2 million, Germany 3.7 million, and we also have Saudi Arabia, which was 3.7 million, the first ever Hollywood premiere in. I'm not even going to try. I know I'm going to end up butchering it.
Don't. Yeah, we know. We all suffer from these. Come on, people. At least put a pronunciation thing through these names. I'm in the
Yeah.
Midwest for crying out loud. We know Berditzman, but we don't know the other ones. You try looking at Berditzman and see if you guys have trouble with Duluth and Delano. Don't you know?
Don't
Be
you
nice to
know?
us. Don't you know? Yeah.
Rounding out the top five, France colored 3.1 million. And it just goes on to talk about Italy, Japan, and China. We'll get the movie later this month. In IMAX, Bad Boys delivered 8.2 million, including 3 million from overseas. And meanwhile, Furiosa and Mad Max Saga trucked to another 13.7 million in 78 markets, taking the international cum of 85.7 million and global to 144.4 million. And goes on to say China debuted this weekend to an estimated 3.6 million, ranking as the number 2 US title behind the Garfield movie on what was the local holiday frame. Opening weekend results in China are 54% ahead of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. IMAX accounted for a strong 34% of the opening with 1.2 million. And then it goes on to talk about other figures for Furiosa. But speaking of Furiosa, we do have an article we are going to talk about next.
Well, I do have one question, and this is serious. I'm going to drop this as a serious question. Don't think I'm being flippant here. But you said, of course, that Bad Boys movie has not hit China yet. China.
Correct.
And we already know what the attitude towards black people China has. It's going to be, or at least the government. The government. Yeah.
The government does. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's
right. Yeah. I mean, when I say China, I'm not talking about the people. I'm sure there's people out there that do have it because they fall into the propaganda. But I don't, I'm not saying the people of China. I'm talking about the heads. How are they going to react to this film? How is it going to do in China, do you think, because of the propaganda that they have against people of color?
I really don't know.
I mean, I think it's a serious question to ask because of with everything going on with China lately.
I don't know, Baron. I really don't know. It depends on how much China likes their action movies and if they're able to overlook the fact that you have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in it. Yeah, we here in the States, we'll go and see it. We
Right.
don't care,
We don't
but
care.
Ch-
Yeah.
China's a different animal, and
Right. And
I can't
what
I can't speculate on that. Not living there. Yes, hearing
right.
about how they are, especially you know when it came to the Force Awakens and what they did with
Mhm.
Finn, but
And others, just not
yeah,
Finn, but and what edits are they going to demand in this film, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I'm interested to see because again, you get a pulse because of the people, not the government. And if it's a hit in China, uh, yeah, I mean that I think that kind of hurts what the government propaganda bullshit is.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask those difficult questions, and again, it's not a flippant one. It just, again, it's interesting. You're going to be going into to see, especially what next week is coming out, what the box office is. It's going to be interesting to see where it sits, and I hope it
Hmm.
does well in China because I wanted to rub in their face. I want Winnie the Pooh to have a shite pie put in his face.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and look and see what comes out this Friday.
Hmm.
Uh, Core Bore that's limited, Ride that's limited, Reverse the Curse limited release, Summer Solstice
Hmm.
that's limited release. Let's see, Firebrand got Inside Out 2 and limited release, Ghostlight,
Mm.
Just the Two of Us, and that's it. Oh wait, Ultraman Rising as well.
Oh, it's going to be interesting what Inside Out 2 is going to do. Again, I'm not being flippant. Um, at all, because just what you hear, and it's in a limited release. That's kind of odd to hear for a
Yeah,
Pixar Disney film.
yeah. And I just checked my local theater listings, and they are going to have it. Not that I'm going to go see it, but I was just curious to see, with it
Oh,
being a limited release, according to
huh.
Box Office Mojo.
Well, I'm impressed. I mean, no offense, Mike. I'm kind of impressed for a limited release. Usually, it's like New York, California, L.A., Chicago, those places. They ignore places like like Minneapolis, St. Paul, which isn't a small metropolis. It's when you put the two cities together, it's pretty big, and even outlying places. So it's like, wow, I'm impressed. What are they doing? I don't know.
I don't know,
They're trying to
but
get you to see it. They're trying to poison you, Mike. That's what it is.
I do want to say hello to Anonymous.
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
And Anonymous says I'll be watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy in theaters this month.
Oh, I love to be able to do that.
Just watched Fellowship yesterday. Awesome.
Great movie.
I,
Great movie.
I, I don't even see that listed on my local theater as far as I'm even getting it.
Jiminy crickets. You get Inside Out too, but you don't get Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, talk to the management. Go in there and say, "Come on, I want my Lord of the Rings," or
I want to
I'll toss
speak.
a dwarf your way.
I want to speak to the manager.
Yeah, go full Karen, or what's a male Karen? Is it a Kyle? Is it
Kyle,
Kyle?
or
Okay.
is it Chad? I don't know.
Chad. Well, Chad's usually the one's the big. Chad's like Cash, the big beefy guy with the chin and all that. It's like Mr. Confidence. But Kyle, yeah, Kyle's usually the one that puts his fist through the drywall. So
Yeah, I know it's through Fandom Events Anonymous, but my theater doesn't always get the Fandom Events movies,
yeah. Hmm.
and I don't want to drive 2.5 hours to go see a movie, and then have to drive 2.5 hours back on country roads.
Well, not only that, and then you go to the movie. When you put all that together, you got almost like 10 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, What can I say? What can I say? I know they're going to have Lord of the Rings here in one of the theaters. I just don't know which one or which ones. Is it going to be an IMAX? Did they say?
Let me find that. Just gonna type in IMAX Lord of the Rings re-release.
He's checking it out, folks. He's the man with the plan. He knows what he's doing. And yeah, I'm just going to go. If you have not seen these films in the theaters, if you do have it around there, a theater that's going to be playing it, go see it. The only thing I have to make a request with the theaters or even with the distributors, put a break in the center like they used to have in the film. No, 5 minute little break so you can get up, stretch, go to the bathroom, get refills, all that stuff, and then come back in because you're talking about over 3 hours, over 3 hour film, and even the original theatrical release was long and probably should have had a intermission. Let's go out to the lobby. Let's go out to the lobby. Let's go out to the lobby. No intermissions. I figured as much. That's why you have your pee cup or your pee jug.
I'm not finding anything about them being in IMAX.
Okay, no problem.
As far as current year, I found things for 2020, 2021, but nothing for 2024 so far.
Either way, still go see it, folks. You'll if you've seen it on DVD or Blu-ray or on whatever streaming service is on, or services, or even on TV. Yeah, it's fun, but go see it in the theater, especially with the big sound systems and all that. Yeah, it's gonna blow you away. Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
What a great soundtrack.
Oh, I know. Oh God, I got the entire score. They put out for each one of the movies the entire score. It's like 3 CDs, and then there's a DVD that is all on one that you can put in your DVD player and not have to switch the discs up. Or like I did, I downloaded it on my computer and I'll be just listen that way to it. But yeah, I was like 3 hours of music, and what's great about it is such a complimentary score to the movie. As you're listening to it, you can see it in your mind what's going on. I love that. Both of them. All three of those. Boom. And I even got the Hobbit extended one. I don't know, but it's extended. It's not like the entire complete soundtrack or score.
Yep.
But yeah. Oh, yeah, I couldn't stop. I had to get them. There was no way. I could have been on the street begging for money. And my son would, please help me get the Lord of the Rings complete score, on DVD or on CD.
And real quick, I do want to say hello to Gabstat over on Rumble, who says, lurky. Well, I appreciate any lurkers.
Ooh, is he down in grade 17? Lurking down there? Because grade 17 doesn't exist. Wink, wink, done that.
I don't think he's doing that, Baron.
Okay.
So we have this article from Matt McGloin of Cosmic Book News. It was published just a day ago, and it says female-driven Furiosa kills Mad Max franchise. Women didn't show up. In a story all too familiar with the targeted audience not responding, the third movie is now in doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's rest in peace, Mad Max, as the female-driven Furiosa movie that is bombing big time at the box office likely has killed George Miller's Mad Max franchise. The story is all too familiar, especially to Marvel and Star Wars fans, as instead of targeting the intended audience, Furiosa was marketed as a female-driven vehicle, but that backfired as the targeted audience didn't show up. Females didn't show up. The previous film, Fury Road, which also didn't do all that well, starred Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy and had 40% of its audience made up of females. Furiosa, starring unknown Anya Taylor-Joy and Hollywood's go-to simp guy, Chris Hemsworth, 29% female.
I do have a question
And
to
there,
ask after the show about this movie, but I don't want to say
yeah,
nothing because spoilers. So,
I was just gonna say there's Chris Hemsworth as Dementis.
hmm he almost looks like a messiah type, you know, figure there in that picture.
Yeah, he looks like it, but the character's mustache twirling over the top.
Hmm
Likewise, and also similar to both Marvel and Star Wars, the younger audience isn't interested. The data reveals that 18 to 24 age group, who are the most frequent moviegoers, plummeted from 31% for Fury Road to 21% for Furiosa. Marketed as female driven backfires. Sure, it
hmm
can be argued Mad Max is more of a niche franchise, but then why give the flick a massive 170 million budget? Fury Road had excuse me. Fury Road had a similar budget and only brought in 380 million. Did they really think Furiosa was going to make more minus Theron and Hardy, all the while being promoted as female driven?
Which basically Fury Road was.
Yes. Mad Max Wasteland in doubt. Furiosa currently has a worldwide box office of only 116 million, with a domestic haul of only 50 million at the time of this article. It's thought by people in the industry that the flick might not even make it to 100 million domestically. Come on, folks, fix your mistakes.
hey,
They've got two in there twice.
maybe they'll have the magical three. One for you, one for me, and one for Cash.
Which is a complete disaster. Fury Road brought in 154 million. Director George Miller has said he has plans for a third movie, Mad Max Wasteland, but said the third movie depends on how well Furiosa does. So it appears as if the Wasteland is wasted. Well, you know what? He should have gone with the Mad Max film. He really should have.
Right.
And the way he should have done it, we've all said it here before. It should be Mel Gibson's last time as older Mad Max.
Right. Right. Amen. And maybe even the passing of the torch to Max Jr. or whatever, which would have been
Mhm.
what's his name that played him again in Fury Road?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah. I mean, in kind of a passing of the torch type of thing. He takes over. And maybe, here I am. I'm getting creative again. I'm getting creative. I'm out creating Hollywood, and I'm not trying to brag about it or pat myself on the back. But, you know, Mad Max, Mel Gibson, right, goes through and he has that heroic death. But then but he's partnered with Tom Hardy. And then he passes like a torch. And Mad Max becomes not just a man, it becomes a legend that gets kind of passed along, kind of like the Phantom, where one takes over from the other. Wouldn't that have been great?
Yeah, it would have been great.
I like it.
It's a mantle that's passed from one person to the next.
Right. Because Max has become such a legend, through the wasteland. They talk about this Mad Max, this Max character who comes in and does this stuff. And, be it from, of course, the Road Warrior or, Thunderdome, that'd be freaking awesome.
I still haven't watched Fury Road, so I guess I'll have to watch that sometime. But did you guys enjoy the action sequences in that?
In Fury Road?
Yeah.
They're okay.
I thought they're okay. I think they're trying to go way over the top in it to try to outdo what they did before, but they really don't need to. The out top what they did before is do what they did before, but make it more intense.
Mhm.
Do some little tricks. Some of the stuff they had going in there were kind of odd. I mean, great. Granted, they had the guitar player. With the big speaker systems on the one. Okay, I could see that one. That's a little outrageous.
Okay.
But the guys that were on the pole swinging back and forth, it's like, no, could have gotten away. Get rid of that. And again, we said it before. Get the freaking motorcycles in there
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
they were so prominent in the Road Warrior, especially with the one, the second in command. I got a mental block on his name to Humongous, and he's right in it with his old boyfriend Twink, and yeah, it's just they. I think they were trying to go way over the top with the chase sequences, and yeah, it was fun. It was
Okay.
entertaining, but I'd rather watch what we saw in Mad Max.
Same.
And even Thunderdome. Even Thunderdome. Even Thunderdome.
For me, it goes Road Warrior, Thunderdome, then the original Mad Max.
Yeah. Yeah, the original Mad Max really didn't have that sort of craze with the chase because it was more of a personal journey and was just basically some outlaws and then of course Toe Cutter and his gang. And as much of more of a drama as much of it was an action flick. But
Mhm.
Road Warrior is when it's like, okay, let's open the stops. But yeah,
But
for the chase and all that and excitement, Road Warrior, I agree. Road Warrior, Thunderdome, then Mad Max, even though they have some great scenes in the original Mad Max.
okay, so the one that I saw recently that was on TV with what happened to his family, that is obviously the first one, right? Or is that
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
And
I
he's
just
in
want
the
to make
police
sure
force.
about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Metro Force Police, MFP,
Mhm.
driving the yellow
Yes.
cop cars. That is
Right.
the very first one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And to note, the guy who played Toe Cutter in that one also played what was the guy in Fury Road, the main bad guy again?
Immortal Joe.
Yeah, Morton Joe. Yeah, and Morton Joe, that's the same actor. He brought the same actor back.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, the actor has passed, and it's like, oh, why? Vernon Wells is still alive. They should bring him back as somebody.
The studios are too stupid on this, and George Miller will not. I don't know. It would be smart for them to, and I think they'd make money. It's like, oh, this is Mel Gibson's final performance as Mad Max, and I think
Mm-hmm.
people would be there at the theaters definitely. As long as the story's
Oh,
good. And mm-hmm.
all you have to do is sit back and say Max is back, and you have Mel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my gosh, people on social
You,
media were like,
you
"Who
know.
cares
You know
about
what you could do
Furiosa? Where's Mad Max? Where's Mel Gibson? Where is he?"
is you could do this marketing campaign where you're hyping up the movie, and then you know as you're going down the road, no pun intended,
Yeah.
you start slowly revealing who's in this Mad Max. I
Mhm.
mean, keep this top secret,
Oh God.
and as you go, I know it's hard to do nowadays. I know, but go with the fantasy here. Go with the fantasy here. But as it gets closer and closer to the release date, the poster reveals who Mad Max is, and it's Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm. Beard,
I mean,
all
why
that.
not?
I'm trying to find some.
One last ride
Yeah, I
down the
mean, in the
wasteland.
passing of the torch probably would have. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen Fury Road yet, so I better not make that.
There is no Pat. Well, yeah. I mean, go ahead, watch it. It's watchable, but it's disappointing as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You expect so much more. Or at least
Well,
I.
it's just even this Furiosa, yeah. This
Yeah.
movie, like, there's just things that they could have done more of, and I don't know if it would have helped. Maybe people just look. I know people want to say things are sexist and this and that and all kinds of crazy stuff, but it's just maybe they just didn't sell people, or maybe people just don't care. Maybe they and I will always like Mad Max better than Furiosa. I don't hate Furiosa at all, but
Mhm.
I think they could have done more with this movie, and I think the critics are definitely mixed on it too. The professional critics, or whatever you want to call them, I think they're mixed on this film.
Right.
But it's a decent movie. It's a decent film.
I
But
think it would.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
just
No, I'm disagreeing with Cash.
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. They just sometimes I think even like male dominated stuff, like people just don't want to see it for whatever reason. It just happens. It's for whatever reason it just doesn't sell them. They don't like the character much. They don't, and that's why you even these trailers, like sometimes you put together a good trailer. Oh, that's cool. Then you go see the movie. The
Oh,
trailer
so all the
probably
good
was
parts
better.
were in
Yeah,
the trailer.
right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that always sucks. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mhm.
There's an art to making a trailer, but I know again, a lot of this you have to blame Miller for as well. I
Mhm.
mean, and if Fury Road didn't simp out and gimp out Mad Max like it did and became the bait and switch that it was, and Max and Furiosa were on a level plane through the whole thing, working as a team, I think it
Oh,
would have done better, and it would have made Furiosa more interesting for someone to want to go to because you didn't get the bait and switch the first time, and now you're going to see a movie about her. And if they made the
Mhm.
character interesting, if there was chemistry, that I think that's the one thing. Also, there was no
there
chemistry.
there wasn't with Furiosa. There was with that guy that she liked, and you could tell she liked, and who was helping her out,
Mhm.
especially when she was younger. Like they built that pretty good in the movie, but I mean, Mad Max popping into Furiosa, and I get it, it's her story, but still,
Mhm.
him popping in maybe halfway through the movie, I mean, that probably be like, oh crap, how did that just happen?
Mhm.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
you do see the interceptor. You do
Mm-hmm.
see
Mhm.
a figure standing by the interceptor. You know that's Mad Max.
Yeah. Mhm. Exactly. And that's kind of a sad. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, it goes on to Miller 100% on this.
Right, it
He brought
does.
in
Yeah.
he brought in a feminist to do all this writing on the show on the movie, which of course you can see it. It's oozing with it. Men are bad. All that stuff was through the whole thing. You had Max gimped, with the muzzle and
With
all that.
you're talking
Haha,
about
look,
Fury Road, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Fury
Yeah,
Road, right?
yeah, yeah.
So you do that to Max, and it's like how are you going to get people excited about Furiosa after seeing how he treated Max?
Right. And yet, like you guys have talked about, and like I can see the setup too. I mean, you go and what do? Like something what Furiosa and Mad Max, and like that's half the title, and then the rest of it is like what the end, or I don't know how you would title that exactly, because with Mad Max, I just his final journey, something like that.
I wouldn't even put something
Mm.
like that in there. I just just like you had the
Or
Mad
just
Max
Mad
2, the
Max
Road
and
Warrior.
Furiosa, right? That could be good too, right? Just Mad
Mhm.
Max and Furiosa. That could be the title, I guess, as well. That could be good, right? I think
Mhm.
pretty good.
And you got to think Beyond Thunderdome, the Road
Mhm.
Warrior.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Fury Road is a good name.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
Uh, but you gotta have to have something like that in the name, and yeah, I can't believe I don't have. Never mind, I'm just buttering myself. Don't mind me. I was trying to find something that was
Um,
pertinent to the show.
the final ride, I don't know. Maybe
But you
not.
know what? You don't want to put a
I don't
final
know.
thing
I
in
don't
it.
know. I don't know if you'd be that on the
Y-
nose with it.
Yeah.
You want to come up with a title that's catchy and makes people go Mad
Mm-hmm.
Max. Mad Max. Insert the name here.
Mm-hmm.
Because even I'm trying to come up with a good one. I'm
Yeah,
That's
not
tough.
coming up
I
because
with
mean,
anything good
but
right
and
now.
I
Osprey,
think
yeah,
I think you guys are onto something though. That Furiosa, and Mad Max, like they're into a movie together. Could that actually? I guess George Miller could make that work.
They
couldn't he?
they already were in a movie together. It was
Right, they
mainly
were Fury
Furiosa. And,
Road. Right. So she was older, but yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
but
I mean,
it's like I've said, what they could have done if Miller had the story that he had for Furiosa. At the same time, he had the story for Fury Road. You could take elements from Furiosa and put them into Fury Road, and have it lead up to the two of them meeting, and they have one common goal, and that's take down Immortal Joe.
mhm.
Hmm.
Warlord of the Wasteland, Mad Max, Warlord of the Wasteland.
I
Yeah.
like that.
You guys think Furiosa should be in that title too? Yeah, it's
No, well,
probably
no,
not
if it's a
gonna
Mad
be.
Max movie,
No,
it's a
no,
Mad
no.
Max movie.
Mhm.
It
Okay.
has to let the audience know this is Mad Max.
Mad Max, and then Furiosa would add into it. Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
remember,
you.
Furiosa is a Mad Max story.
Right.
No, they
Right.
had to. You had,
A Mad Max
they had
Saga.
to,
Sure. Mad
yeah,
Max
Saga.
Saga. Right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, is this the end of Mad Max? Like, is this killed the movies for? It might have. I don't know. Hard to say. It might have.
I
I
think
don't know.
if there is, there's a coming be a coming to Jesus moment there, and they
Mm-hmm.
need to have that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, we're going to do this. It's got to be truly.
We're sorry,
Mad
Mel. Here's money.
Well,
We're
it's got to
sorry.
also be
Here's
a
money.
script that Mel Gibson
Yeah.
wants to sign on for. I mean, he's
Exactly.
no spring tricking anymore.
No, he
No.
isn't. They need to
Eh,
give him a solid script on that. Yes.
It has to be a solid script. And
Mm-hmm.
two, it's got to look believable where, you know, camera angles will trick you into believing that he could still pull off some of the stunts that he could when
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing first started.
Well, just also build on what was the game was something pretty recent, so then build on that, right? I guess I still need to play that. It's
Well,
on
you
PlayStation
could,
4.
or you could go a different way. I mean, but still keep it within that
Mm-hmm.
realm of what Mad Max is. You know, you just sit back and reacquaint yourself with Road Warrior and the Thunderdome,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, this is what it's about. Now we're dealing with a warrior of the wasteland. You know, take Auntie Entity and boost it 10 times, and that's what Max is going against. And what helps
Mm-hmm.
with his age, is remember he's got to walk with a because of his leg. His leg was busted up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always got that. Help me up on his like
He's got a gimp.
yeah, he's got that gift, but he's also got that device on there to help him walk, and that will help. That will actually help with that character. You can see he's aging, and you already know that he's been injured quite a bit, and who knows what else has happened between the last time we saw him till now. And
Mm-hmm.
he knows
Sure.
it's his final ride, but
Right.
he's
Yeah.
going to take out this warlord of the wasteland.
Yeah. I
And
like
then, of
that.
course, the mantle gets passed on
Mhm.
because Mad Max has now become a a legend. In essence, it's a mantle now, and because people don't necessarily have seen Max personally, they just hear the stories, and now he's
Mm-hmm.
become a folklore. This is how folklore start.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
And real quick, I do want to say hello to Jace. Good to see you, Jace.
Hey, Jace.
Who's Jace?
Jason Fox of 540 Studios, the guy that you stream with on Thursdays.
I don't know who any of those people are.
Baron,
boy.
you might need to see somebody about that.
Yeah.
Hey, well, we pick on you. I pick back to him. It's like going back and forth. We gotta do the pick
know?
ons, man. Yeah,
You know?
Don't you know? Don't you know? Oh yeah, don't you know? It's just good nature
Now-
there. We're having some fun. And
As far as what Miller has to say about all this, he says, I'll definitely wait to see how this Furiosa goes before we even talk about it, referring to another Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so far, I'm sorry, George, but yeah, Furiosa isn't doing what you had hoped.
right. And if you're aiming for an audience that doesn't give a rip about it in the first place, then why target them? The women that like Mad Max, you already have. You know what? A lot of women like Mad Max because of the eye candy of Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a two-way street when it comes around to that visual eye candy. Yeah, the
Indeed
men
it
like looking
is.
at beautiful. Yeah, men like looking at beautiful women, and women like looking at beautiful, handsome men. Uh, and that's the way it goes. And it doesn't bother me that you got women wanting to see, Aquaman or Road Warrior or whatever, to see the buff bodies or the handsome men or all that. I mean, again, this is fantasy. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
get some sort of soundboard or something to do that stuff, but let it be that way. And that's what you got to remember. If you're going to start turning to a bashing men, feminist thing, you have now just pissed off both audience bases. They're not interested anymore. And that's probably what Furiosa is. The women that do like Mad Max don't want to go and see some what they're going to perceive. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Some feminist tripe that we've been getting, that Fury Road was full of, and they want it for they enjoy the action films. There are fellow nerds, and we accept them. They love the premise of all of it, and when it comes, it's like welcome to the show. It's like, and I love watching Mel Gibson. He's so sexy. Okay, enjoy that eye candy. I want to see the cars explode. Well, I want to see Mel Gibson explode the cars. Okay, well, you're getting double pleasure than me.
Well,
Enjoy.
not only do I want to see a Mad Max film where the cars explode, but I want to see a Mad Max film where Mad Max goes in there and kicks some ass and some ass. I mean, I said ask, but kicks some ass and doesn't have a muzzle on him for the first 15 or so minutes of the movie.
I think it was even longer than that, man.
I was just cutting it short.
Yeah, I think it was almost half the film, and it's like, this is ridiculous. I mean, you did get some classic Mad Max like lines, like "that's bait." It's like, okay, I can see Mill doing that line. That one hit. Okay, that's Mad Max right there. But I mean, when you only got a scene like that, and it's not even a memberberry scene, it's just like, yeah, that is something Mad Max would have done. And it's like, oh, I almost saw Mill doing it, and and of course, it's become a very popular meme now. But when it comes down to it, that's the most popular meme we can get out of Fury Road. It tells you something. There should be more.
There should be a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, it was really hard to get into Morton Joe. It's like, I really wanted to boo and hiss him, but really it was so convoluted.
I mean, when he starts giving them water,
Mm-hmm.
and basically lets them know that you have to come to me to get your water, and I have all the power when it comes to it. It's like,
Right.
come on.
Which is
I'm
a
sorry.
nice.
I'm sorry. Not sorry when I say, and I keep saying, that the Road Warrior is the pinnacle of Mad Max movies. That's the bar.
Yep.
That's where it needs to be set at.
Right. Absolutely. George Miller needs to have someone come to him and say, hey, listen, George, honestly, this is what you got to do. If you get back to the basics, quit trying to aim for an audience that doesn't give a shit about you. Yeah, you obviously want to expand the audience, but you expand it with what you got. You don't change it. Just like I sit back and say, I'm not here to be your friend. But if you like me, great, then we can be friends, but don't try to fucking change me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with our IPs or our stories or our folklores. They're not there to be our friends. They're there to tell a story. But if you like it, then boom, you do have a friendship. But the story should not be twisted and changed to fit somebody. I want it this way, because then you alienate
To
more
to
than you
fit the
bring in.
perspective of a modern audience, we talked about it last night for the final Babylon 5
Yeah.
review stream on your channel, Baron.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to see Babylon 5 come back and be made for a modern audience.
Mm-hmm.
That takes out Babylon 5's main formula of telling great stories if you start catering to an audience who doesn't care about the property to begin with.
Right. Exactly. And again, we have almost perfection with the original series. I mean, and I know that JMS wouldn't be going out there with the attitude, I got to make this for a modern audience. He wants to go out there and do it and try to follow out how he originally envisioned it. As he sat back and said, there wouldn't be an exact copy, but still, how do you replace some of these people who played in there?
Yeah, that's why I think Phil has the best idea, and I'm sure all of us have talked about
Yeah, we
this.
all.
That is, just go with the animated stuff. Maybe just keep focusing on that if you want to do
Well,
some more Babylon 5.
and I think they did slip that out there too. If this movie does well, we'll probably look at doing another one.
Mm-hmm.
And if they keep on, it's like I have no problems with that, especially with all the people that we've lost, and
Yes.
especially Phil Lamar. People coming in with very respectful, redoing the voices for those that we've lost, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the path if we want to have these stories. That or novels. I mean,
Yes.
take your
Novels,
pick.
comics, whatever you want. Right. All that
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah.
And it's just kind of easy that way. And
Mm-hmm.
and Miller, again, remember what your base was, and remember you did have women that liked this. It's just that a lot of them didn't want to necessarily say anything because they didn't want to get picked on, but they went and saw it, or they saw it on cable, or they saw it on a DVD. Maybe their boyfriend made them watch, and they go, "Oh wow, this is freaking cool." It doesn't matter. You already got that audience, and when you hit that demographic that doesn't care, screw it. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep what you're doing. Don't change your format. Everyone's guilty of going that way, and we've talked about ourselves, even amongst ourselves. We don't want to follow that path. We've talked about, and we're not going to say names. We're not going to name names, but we've talked about YouTubers that have changed from when they started to what they are now.
Yes.
And here's my Mad Max, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But that they've changed their formula and how they've done stuff
Mm-hmm.
because they got to a certain level. It's like you've forgotten what brought you here.
Yes.
And by doing so, you're going to lose it. You're only going to get the trendy people come in. The other ones that have been around for a long time are going to get bored or whatever, and they're going to go away, and you're not going to have it. You're going to start losing your base. Be who you
Well,
are.
you could even say that about Pop Talk, Baron. It's changed since its
Mhm.
beginning. It used to have open panels each and every episode. Then it
Right.
went to open panels twice a month, and
Right.
now there are no open panels. And I will even admit, I will readily admit to each and every one of you who are listening, whether it's live, whether you're watching this on the replay, yes, I did repeat everything that all the big channels were talking about in the beginning. I would look for the same articles in the beginning. It got to a point where it was getting draining.
Mhm.
And I looked at it like this: you could either keep talking about this stuff and let it drain you, let it piss you off, or find the stories that folks aren't talking about,
Right.
which is what I've decided to do.
I think it's a better direction, personally, for any channel.
Well, yeah. I mean, any channel does change. I mean, like you go along, but the thing is, the changes are improvements. Is where you sit back and you look and go, okay, uh, this thing isn't working. which means we should drop this. Is causing more harm than good. This seems to be something that is still us, right? But we've been doing it. But okay, we'll focus a little bit more this direction. But the thing is you're still who you are. I mean, just look at the first episode of original Star Trek to the last one and see the changes they did in that show. I mean, as it went along, and basically trying to improve but stay the same. A lot of people go out there though, change, and they're not the same. And that's important. If you're going to do a change, still remember who you are, or what your IP is.
Yeah, and if you're against the machine like you claim to be, don't become part of the machine. Then they just like, what's the point? Like you say, you're always a rebel. Then be a rebel. You don't need to change.
Phantom hooligans, Padawan.
Sure.
Hooligans.
No, Baron Norman Tag's legacy of nonsense.
I'll go with that.
No, I just, the thing is, like, whatever it is, articles, streaming, gaming, whatever, like, look, you don't have to. You can just be honest with people. I know how terrible, but you can just be honest about your feelings. You can tell people if they're interested in buying a game, this is some problems that you have found with it. Maybe other people won't, but you found these problems, and then you find out other people may have these issues. So a game, movie, whatever it is, article. I mean, we criticize Bounding the Comics. We don't care that they're more on the right or somebody more on the left, like Variety and stuff. But I mean, even when Variety said that about the guy from Rocky, I can't think of his name right now.
Party.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of the actor, but Party.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Paulie. Yeah. I mean, it was disgraceful what that person said in Variety, and she should be reprimanded for that. I don't. There is no excuse for somebody to write a supposedly professional writer to write something like that. It's disgraceful. It really is.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, they don't care.
No, they don't care. It wasn't much to look at, and you think you are? Let's see what you look like. Since you want to talk about appearances. Oh, aren't you guys not supposed to talk about appearances? Wasn't that a problem? Only certain people, right? Yeah, I see.
Right. It's a selective group.
Right.
And honestly, as it goes, I'm not much to look at, but I still wouldn't have said something like that.
No, it's just rude, man. It's absolutely rude.
Yeah, and I am rude, but I wouldn't do that.
Heck, look at me. I'm not much to look at either.
That's not what some people have been telling me, though, but sure.
What? Wow, a wild night last night. How y'all doing, man?
Yeah, how y'all doing? Here I am on camera. I don't do that too much anymore, but there you go.
With that green screen, you should, man. You got the great backdrops.
Yeah.
Wow, look at my hand.
Yeah,
man.
but
look up it.
Whoa. Look at these hands.
Ooh.
Even Anonymous has a man crush on you, Mike. Look at that. Isn't that nice?
Wow. Look at that. Yeah.
No. He's blowing smoke up my ass. You all know how I feel about that.
Well, you know what Jace does. You know what Jace does. There we go. That's our Mad Max right there. Huh?
All right.
Look at that. Mm-hmm. And he did it, folks. He did it. It's Mad Mike. Not
Mad Mike.
Max.
I knew it,
Mike.
Man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he'll be the replacement.
I should have used that for one of my thumbnails when I was playing Mad Max. I should have.
Yeah, but I thought I was hurt, man. I said, "Oh, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
you're probably thinking, oh, great. Mike doesn't like it. He's not going to use it. No, honestly, I was trying to, just find different images in the game that I could use for the thumbnail. And...
Oh, yeah. Okay, whatever you say.
Yeah.
How the hell did I know that? Oh, yeah. I tell you what, colors. You can hear the colors.
Yeah, colors all right. You're seeing them, aren't you, Baron?
I can hear the colors.
Hello, I'm seeing colors, man. Oh yeah, that's right. We're seeing colors. That's right. We're seeing colors that aren't red and yellow like that. No good turncoat Hulk Hogan. That's right, Hogan. I'm coming for you. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have fun, folks. Gotta have fun. If you're gonna stream, you gotta
Always.
have fun.
I'm not having fun.
Sucks to be you.
It does.
He's like, I like Star Wars. Yeah.
I like Star Wars. Star Wars. Yeah, I like Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I like Ewoks. I like Ewoks so much. I cosplay Ewoks all the time. Look at me.
Yay.
I'm a giant Ewok.
Yeah.
A giant one.
If you guys ever watch that movie Kicking and Screaming, Will Ferrell's character goes into, because you were saying the yay stuff, Will Ferrell goes into the thing, he says, I'm getting this kind of coffee, and he looks at this guy and this guy goes, yay.
Yay.
And wait a minute, Baron. I thought you were a Wookiee.
Oh yeah, maybe he is.
Lighten up, fuzzball.
I better not do that. The dogs start barking when I do that. I tell you what.
They're going, Baron's one of us.
I think they always. I think they always have. I think they always have.
Yeah.
Like he's hairy, like me. Yeah. The cats think the same thing too, right, Mouse? Yeah. He just wants food. But I mean, yeah, it just keep it simple, stupid. That's all I gotta say. I mean,
yep.
We were, it's like, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna go out there and necessarily insult looks unless it's absolutely deemed because of the stupidity that comes out of people's freaking mouths.
Yes.
But as that goes, I am not going to. I'm also going to take shots at me.
Yeah,
you have to. If you don't, yeah.
If you can't make fun of yourself, who can you make fun of?
I always make fun of myself.
Yeah, I always make fun of Cash.
I make fun of Baron. I'm looking at him right now. And I still think Phil is Agent Smith or Beetlejuice.
He is.
I haven't decided if he's Beetlejuice yet or Agent Smith. I think he's Agent Smith, Mr. Anderson.
He's not good looking. He's not good looking enough to be Beetlejuice. Admit it.
But
if you say his name too many times, he just pops up again. So yeah, Phil McCracken. Oh,
yeah,
I like
yeah.
your house,
Hey, everybody. Yeah, this is my house to go. Everybody has the same house.
Did you move in with? Did you move in with Keith from Pulp Culture Minefield?
Yeah, I'm actually staying with him for the weekend.
Okay, cool. Say hi from me, man.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I will.
I miss that guy. You need to get hold of him and
Yeah.
bother him a little bit. For some reason, he likes me. I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
We don't know why anyone likes you, Baron.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't either. I don't even like me. Come on.
Even your dogs told me the other day, like, "Roar, roar, roar." Yeah.
Oh, they see me for feeding. Same with the cats. No, I think I'm going to make.
I'm surprised Mouse isn't around right now. Actually,
no, he's overeating.
Oh, is he? Okay, he's still over there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over there.
Figure he's attached to you, but at the hip.
Yeah. Well, yes, no. Duchess is that way too. She's getting older, and she's been hanging out with me a lot. She's curled up on the floor right over there. So.
Oh, okay. I think it's great though. The cats and the dogs get along, so I guess good enough.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some issues.
Yeah.
There's some issues now and then. It's kind of like Pop Talk,
Right.
Any other stories on the plate, by the way?
I don't.
Oh yes, we have one last story for this afternoon's Pop
Oh.
Talk. And, it's the end of a chapter, the end of a journey. So let me just get this shirt out to the YouTube and the Rumble side.
Is Baron frozen or is he? No, I think he might.
Yeah.
I could see him move.
Almost.
I could
Yeah,
see him
he'll
move.
move it a little bit. I'm like, it's still
That's
good
because I
though.
shake.
It's good.
It's because I
Good.
still shake. That's
Yeah,
why, you know.
yeah. It was good though. It's like
yeah.
because that does happen sometime on these webcams. Like they froze. It's just funny. Yes.
And at the most inconvenient times too.
Yes.
Yeah. I found with mine, if I have one of my lights on, it starts to flicker, so I don't even turn it on anymore.
And remember, like, I'm not going to go into too many details in this. Don't ever do what that guy did on CNN. Don't do it. Don't even attempt it.
Oh,
ever.
you mean wank the wiener?
Don't do it.
Who the hell?
I don't know, man. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like that BBC.
That's It's a narcissism. What else could it be, Baron? What else could it be? It's some kind of narcissism.
What about during COVID when that female BBC reporter, whatever, is having? Oh yeah, she's on the air, and on the bookshelf behind her, she has her dildo.
I'm
not kidding. I am not kidding. It's sitting there, and it's like.
All right. That's not. They just don't get it. But it's a narcissism. What else is it? It's a narcissism.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Just a moment.
I'm just a masochist, according to some people, because I'm a
you are.
And also my gaming streams.
So
I'm not
it's
giving up.
I'm going to see it in, man. I'm going to see it in, man.
And then the apology that guy gave is just ridiculous, or lack thereof.
It wasn't an apology. It was
just well. Why? Well, I shouldn't. Well, you should be gone from the network, but whatever.
I thought he got fired. I thought
he did.
Are they sent him to? Are they sent him to the pits of the station? You know, he was still on, but they put him at right after the Ronco infomercial about their turnip twaddler, and that was this show, and it's like. Wanking that night.
That person on CNN didn't even say, like, are you an idiot? Or anything like that. Oh, how dare you say that? But yeah, he's an idiot.
Well, big question is, who left the freaking, you got control over the feed coming in. Who left it on?
I don't know.
Somebody at CNN.
Somebody in the truck did.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's somebody behind the scenes that didn't like them and let it keep going. It's like, okay, fine.
Yep.
Possible. Always possible, yeah.
That's my
that is possible.
I mean, he looks like a turnip or a potato, or I don't know. He looks like a manatee. And I say that because I'm an ugly guy that looks like a fat Wookiee or a giant Ewok. Yep. Da 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 da.
I love Yub Nub. I don't care what anyone says. I love Yub Nub.
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's more. It has more of a victory feel to it. But the disturbing thing about it is we know that they were going to eat Luke and Han, right? We know they were going to do that.
Yeah.
But now they're having this. After this battle, they're having this big feast going on. And they have all the stormtrooper and other troopers' armors all set about. What the hell were they eating?
No, look. However you feel about the Ewoks, like I can't say that they hurt Return of the Jedi.
Oh no, well, yeah, that's their discussion for another time. But I still bring that up. What were they eating at that feast?
That's a good question.
Like a stormtrooper?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah, you won't see that movie the same way twice now. Yeah, and you're right. Troopers are a bit gamey.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get the ones that are like the naval troopers, the ones with the black helmets. They're like the corn-fed ones.
Corn-fed ones.
You're taking this into another place.
I knew Baron was an extra in Cannibal the Musical. I just knew it.
Well, how do we know
That's
that
the
Garrett's not a cannibal?
Well, remember the first
Maybe.
episode of Bob's Burgers where they thought he was cooking human meat,
No.
and then they get the bus come by that are adventurous eaters, and they storm the place because they think they're eating human hamburgers. I mean, what can I say, folks? I don't come up with it. I have to report it.
Well, I think some of it you come up with.
I'm not that sick and twisted.
You sure?
Maybe.
Uh-huh. You're doing that you're sure thing to me? Come on, man. Cash Pop's a bad dude.
But we have this article by Rick Porter of The Hollywood Reporter. Pat Sajak's final spin. Wheel of Fortune host signs off after 4 decades. It's been an incredible privilege to be a part of the game show for so long, the host says. Pat Sajak hosted his final episode of Wheel of Fortune on Friday and took time to thank viewers of the enduringly popular game show he's hosted for more than 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
The time has come to say goodbye, Sajak said during the episode. I have a few thanks and acknowledgments before I go, and I want to start with all of you watching out there. It's been an incredible privilege to be invited into millions of homes, night after night, year after year, decade after decade. I've always felt that the privilege came with a responsibility to keep this daily half hour a safe place for family. No social issues, no politics, nothing embarrassing. I hope just a game.
Mm-hmm.
Sajak, 77, announced a year ago that he would step down as host of Wheel of Fortune. Ryan Seacrest will take over as host of the syndicated game shows starting with the 2024-25 season. He'll be joined by Sajak's longtime co-host Vanna White, who will remain with the show for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
White also paid tribute.
Well, I'm going to say
Go
she's
ahead,
going to
Greg.
break some records. She's going to break some records too because she wasn't originally with Pat. I think it was like a year or two in when she joined. So if she stays on, she'll break some records if she hasn't already.
Yeah. White also paid tribute to Sajak in a video on Wheel of Fortune's social media outlets. Watch it below, and I'll go ahead and put the link for it in case anybody does want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we get a strike for it or some nonsense? If we,
Oh, I'm
We'd get a claim. We'd get a claim.
we'd have to pause it every 10 seconds or some crap.
Yep.
Every 2.
8 seconds every 2. Yeah.
Every 8 seconds.
I want to thank. It's gonna be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's see, she paid tribute, and you can watch it on the media outlets below. I don't know how to put it into words what these past 41 years have meant to me, she says. When I first started, I was so great. You made me so comfortable and so confident. Pat, you made me who I am. You really did. Sajak first hosted an NBC daytime version of Wheel of Fortune in 1981, and White joined the show a year later. They became hosts of the daily syndicated version of Wheel in 1983, and throughout their tenure, the show has been among the most popular game shows in syndication. Sajak and White have also hosted ABC's Celebrity Wheel of Fortune for the past 4 years. Sajak won 3 Daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Game Show Host and received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the awards in 2011. He also reflected on Wheel of Fortune's legacy in television in his farewell, saying the show became a place where kids learned their letters, where people from other countries honed their English skills, where families came together along with friends and neighbors and entire generations. What an honor to have played even a small part in all that. Thank you for allowing me into your lives. And I'll also post his sign off.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is an end of an era. We can
It
truly
is.
say we no longer have Bob Barker. We no longer have Alex Trebek with us here on this earth. Pat
Mhm.
Sajak is still here on this earth, but he, along with the two gentlemen I just mentioned, were staples for a lot of us
Right.
growing up.
Yes. On the last show, this woman, she won, what was the total? 79,000 because my
Wow.
brother DVR'd it. Yeah, 79,000. This black lady, I can't think of her name now. I don't remember her name. I feel bad. But yeah, she won 79,000 and she did very well with all the puzzles, of course. And yeah, and it was an enjoyable show. It still is. I hadn't watched Real Fortune in a long time, but my brother wanted to obviously DVR it because it was Pat Sajak's last show.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
so
hope my
yeah,
mom got it. I hope my mom got it.
yeah,
She really
last
loved Wheel of
show, and
Fortune.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I hadn't watched Wheel of Fortune in a long time, but it's just so easy to go back to shows like that. It's just and I love the fact it was just a game, just a game. Wow,
Right.
just a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was always intended to be. Just a
Yeah.
game. No social issues. That's not whatever it was about. Just a game.
Yeah. Sadly,
I love
Jeopardy,
that.
they started doing that BS
A
with.
little bit,
Yeah.
no doubt, no doubt.
And
There's a little bit of
and
pandering in Jeopardy.
right.
Not much,
Mm-hmm.
but a little bit. Yeah. I
But
don't
they were
care.
starting to. Yeah, they were
Mhm,
starting to go that way, but I think they realized it was going to be the wrong way. But you
mhm.
know,
Well,
what
like I
really.
said, dude, I don't even care if there's a contestant on there that's transgender or whatever. I
Right.
mean, they
Mm-hmm.
deserved it to be on there. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Well,
So,
the big thing is again, it's like, can you just promote us the person, not
yeah, yeah.
what that is. And the thing is, they're using it as too much of a tool for for that.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, the best way to be seen
Yeah.
is to do things like that and not rely on the fact that you
No.
transitioned or
Yeah,
whatever.
if you're trans or gay or whatever you are, doesn't matter. You want to try for these shows, you get on the show. Good for you. Good for you.
I do have a question though. Why is Ryan Seacrest always the go-to guy for this?
It's just
I-
like
He's
I
not
don't know.
it was
that
the
good
Dick Clark thing. The whole thing is like
Yeah.
he started here on the
on radio.
radio
Yeah.
star 93.1, was it? No,
Mhm.
is that
I
89?
don't know which one it was.
Dang
Yeah.
it, 89.7, something like that. Shit,
But he was like
I
Jimmy
can't
Kimmel.
remember.
He was on LA radio and he
He
got
right.
big
Well,
breakdown.
yeah, because Kimmel started on K Rock and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Then he moved to When Ben Stein's Money, and of course the
Mhm.
Man Show, and now,
Yeah, which-
even his own show was quite enjoyable. Like I said, everything just went crazy after 2016, and not for the
Mhm.
not the best idea. But that's why, thank goodness, we have stuff like Gutfeld shows.
Yeah.
His show, Gutfeld, he gets it. It just,
Mhm.
I guess maybe he felt, or Fox felt, it was the right time to do this, and look at how popular that show is. They've only got an audience of, I think, about 50 people or something, but look at how many people
Yeah.
are watching it every week. So,
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Ryan Seacrest, he's one of those people that I think he also was involved in the Me Too movement at one point. I think he was. And then he just has his head too far up his. I don't know.
Well-
I'm not really a big fan of Ryan Seacrest, oh, whatever nonsense. But
Seacrest. Yeah. I go with that one. That's from Seacrest because that goes from MXC.
he was
That's
fine
correct.
on the radio on Star, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't care. I don't care for him on Dick Clark's Rocking Eve and whatever New Year's Rocking
Don't even
Eve.
watch those shows. They're not fun anymore.
No,
But because he's that bland vanilla.
Mhm.
You just throw out there bland vanilla white guy. You can throw out there. Doesn't matter. He's just whatever, and they figure,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. It's not that he's a
there's no
terrible person,
personality.
right? It's not that
Yeah.
he's a terrible person
Well,
or
I'm not.
anything, but it's just like, even like when they did Ryan and Kelly and whatever. I mean, like, it's just
Yeah.
not the same as Regis. But Kelly's
No.
fine. She's fine. She got screwed over by Kelly Ripa's fine. But
Yeah.
I haven't watched that show much in a long time.
Kathy Lee and Regis were the
Oh
ones that
yeah,
got screwed
they
over.
were the best. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
And they're the
I
ones
know
that
what
got
you
screwed
mean.
over.
Yeah.
And
But
part of that screwing over was Kelly Ripa, which is why I don't have much respect for her. So,
yeah. Well, what Michael geez, the guy who's on now Good Morning America, he screwed her over, which was
I
screwed
know.
up.
I had to laugh at that.
Michael
I thought
Strahan?
Strahan, yeah. Yeah, he screwed her over. Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that was
messed
poetic
up.
justice. I thought that was poetic justice myself.
Mhm.
After all the BS she was doing, then she had it put back. It's like, be careful what you do. It come back and bite you, and it did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I know.
I'm not saying Michael
dirty.
doesn't have. Yeah. He's quite full of himself, and he can be definitely
Right.
woke Michael Strahan. But he was a great football player. There's no doubt about that.
Right. What I'm doing, I'm not.
Yeah,
what I'm
and
saying is, I'm not.
I'm going to give the guy kudos too for stepping away with his daughter battling cancer. So,
right.
Yeah,
I'll give him credit there because he does have his priorities straight when it comes to his family.
I had forgotten that Kelly Ripa actually started screwing over Regis and Kathy.
Oh yeah, and
really
she was behind the scenes and probably still is. I hear she still is a bit of a. But the thing is, not that I approve of what Michael did. I'm not saying that. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not cheering that on
that way. Right.
I'm just sitting back, admiring the irony of the whole situation. That's what I'm laughing at. Is the irony, and how it's like, okay, you did all this. Now he came back and got you. You get what you deserve. I'm not saying, I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not giving
right.
Him a
No.
But it's like, I love it when they eat their own.
Yeah. Well, it's just there's this weird stuff. It's just like this A-Rod thing. It's like, should he be doing commentary for baseball when he cheated? It's just, I'm not saying he doesn't still have good opinions on baseball, but the problem is that he cheated the game. Does he deserve to be rewarded for that? I don't think so. I still don't. But what am I going to do? Yell about it at the top of a mountain?
Well, he cheated and got caught. Let's just put it that way. There's still a lot of cheaters out there.
Yeah.
He just got caught.
Hopefully they're behaving themselves, but yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. But I have to sit back and say, with the impact of Wheel of Fortune, though, and how that show evolved and changed.
Yes.
I mean, you watch some of the shows from the 80s, it'll blow your mind. It's like, what are they doing? Now they're going to go and pick all these things that's on this rotating thing. Oh, I want to have that color TV, Pat. And I want to have, because the money that you earn, you could buy the prizes, and that's how you went about it. Into what they have now, it's like you get the money, and they got rid of it. I gotta understand why, because it kind of got dragged the show on. But I could tell watching some of the Wheel of Fortunes, these later ones, Pat was tired. It was almost like, unfortunately, he was kind of phoning it in. It's like, okay, I'm here fulfilling my contract, but I'm tired. And after 40 some years, you can't blame somebody for that. It's like, okay, I'm ready to go. Imagine being at a job for that long.
Yeah.
And
the job you love too.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he didn't love the job. I didn't, or anything, but you could tell at the end there he was kind of tired. It was time to go.
Also,
I overstayed my welcome, kind of thing.
Give the man some credit too. He was in his late 70s.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of the people in their 70s are retired. He was still working.
Right. Well, same thing with the age of Alex Trebek before, unfortunately, cancer got him. He was, he was up there too, and kudos in doing that job. It's time to retire. Enjoy your family. Do a side project or whatever.
And now, of course, with like game shows, like newer game shows, besides, I think the Game Show Network is still trying to put on some new game shows, but some of these game shows, of course, are coming back because they were just really good formats. They worked hard on making these games fun and challenging and all kinds of stuff, from Press Your Luck to, I mean, even Elizabeth Banks. I mean, they had good hosts. Look, however, how much I hate Alec Baldwin, and I do. He was he wasn't a terrible host for the match game. It's just when he
Oh,
started that attitude. When he started that attitude more with that one contestant, I went, really, dude? Really? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm respectfully disagreeing with you on this one. He was absolutely shit on that.
Well, I mean,
absolutely shit.
There was some Orange Man stuff that came up too, but I mean,
Well, I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm just talking about him being a host. I'm not critiquing politics or anything, but his presence and everything.
Right. I started paying right, but what I'm saying, Baron, is I started paying closer attention to his attitude about stuff, and then when he started going after the contestants and some of the things he said to them, I said, "What an ass." I started paying closer attention. I said, "What an ass, dude." Yeah. These people are nice enough to come on here, and you want to treat them like that. Oh, it's so funny, ha 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 ha, and maybe they're laughing too, ha 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 ha. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're on TV, you have to kind of thing. But
right,
you look back at these classic hosts. Of course, we did bring up Bob Barker. You had Art Fleming in the day.
Yeah,
of course, Gene Rayburn. That was
he was amazing
on that show.
I've watched
Richard Dawson
recently.
Peter Tamarkin.
Yeah.
All these people. There is an art and a talent to being a host, a game show host. And it's the big thing you have to remember. It's not about you.
Right?
You're the MC.
Right.
It's the guests that you bring on, and you try to have that fun, relaxed atmosphere as much as possible to get your guests to come out a little bit of their shell and have fun and get excited.
Yep.
You're supposed to you're supposed to be rooting them all on and such. And with Match Game obviously was a little bit more randy than most, and a lot more crazy, and people were having fun with that one. You look at Gene Rayburn, and I got a mental block on the guy who replaced him, Ray Combs. Ray Combs, who was an excellent replacement. I mean, honestly, I think those two were the best hosts of Family Feud that you had. Unfortunately, Ray Combs got screwed over, and unfortunately, he had some mental issues, and unfortunately, he unalived himself. And they brought back Gene Rayburn for one last season after that.
Hollywood Squares I don't even know if that's still around anymore, but that wasn't a bad show either.
They tried to bring it back, but you take a look at what you have for these classics, and it's like, if you're going to do these shows, right, especially if it's a redo, you have to take a look how you're not going to try to emulate the old host. What you're going to try to emulate is the style. You bring yourself, but you bring the style.
Yeah, that's why Joel McHale worked fine with Card Sharks. It's like, no, ABC, why is it gone now? I want it to come back. I like that show. I like Joel McHale's approach.
And I have a mail block of the two that you had that were for the original ones, because they changed people out on the original one, but they're both excellent. The one went to what was that show where the Sale of the Century? He went from that to Sale of the Century, and but again, they're such great hosts. I mean, Ray Combs was himself. He wasn't trying to be not Gene Ray, but Richard Dawson. He brought himself on there, but he was still doing the part. This is as the MC. So it's like he's not emulating Richard, but he's still emulating what is needed to be for the show. And these new people, they don't understand that. They think just because I was an actor, I can do this. Well, it's more than that. It's more than that. And you take the background of some of these people and what they've done. It's like, that's what you need to do. I mean, some of these people went back all the way to vaudeville when vaudeville was coming in, or shows like that you had for live, and worked their way through the local TV and doing local silly stuff, and getting their feet wet that way. Just because you were a DJ on a popular LA station doesn't make you a good MC out there, or a game show host, or whatnot. It takes a little bit more than that. And Lord knows it's not a pretty face. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean mean, because you could look at me, I'm ugly myself, but Gene Rayburn wasn't exactly that stellar chiseled chin star. But the thing is, he had that personality.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not saying he was ugly. But today, by today's standards, it's like, why is he doing that show?
Well,
he's not that good looking and all that. He's not like Ryan Seacrest, and and all that with the fake smile and all that. No, no. Gene Rayburn was Gene Rayburn.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And
what you want.
right, it wasn't. It's what you produce on a show.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, I mean, just like when they had Bowser from Shaw, no, I got to remember on his real name. When they brought back the match game Hollywood Square Hour.
Oh
Game
yeah,
show,
that still is shown on the
on
Game Show Network or whatever. Yeah, I watched that the other day. I like that show. Yeah, it's a
Right,
good format. Yeah.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if anybody's got Pluto, I encourage you could go to Pluto, man. And they do have the two channels for Price is Right. Bob Barker and Drew Carey. They have the Wheel of Fortune on there. You got a couple of like the Game Show Network and a few, not the Game Show Network, but Buzzer. No, which that's on there. And of course, some stuff with the Game Show Network, not the actual channel itself.
Yeah.
Go and watch this stuff. It's fun, man. It's fun. I'm
Yeah.
a Game Show junkie. I admit it. I like
Yeah.
the
No,
show.
it's good. Yeah, the Split Second, which I didn't know was an older game show because my brother's best friend was on that. He was trying to win the $10,000 so he could buy a new tuba or something. He's going to use for it. And man, those questions at the end were ridiculous. You get to that final round and it's like surprise. It's like
I think what we can thank for bringing thank and also cuss at for bringing back the game shows like we have now is Millionaire. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? One, Regis Philbin was excellent on that show.
Oh, he was great,
Excellent.
man. And Merida Vieira was just not the same. It's her
No.
attitude.
Meredith,
Excuse
Meredith,
me.
yeah.
Meredith, yeah.
It's her attitude. It's how she approached everything.
Yeah, I didn't like her, but Regis was
yeah.
like bam, right on there all the time. Oh yeah, it was great.
Oh, he was a consummate host.
Yes.
He knew his shit.
Mm-hmm.
And but that helped usher in all this stuff where you started having these late night game shows, and then they started doing like bring back Match Game, and they just don't do it right. I mean, originally they wanted Rosie O'Donnell as they wanted Rosie O'Donnell. Bob Barker wanted Rosie O'Donnell to replace him on Price is Right. Can you imagine her on Price is Right?
She was a better person before she turned into I know it's being mean, but I'm just saying she's done some stuff like even her own show. There was fun there. You could see her having fun. But when these people just turn into these old cranky people, about different things, it's just like it's a turnoff, man. Let's just go with that.
Well, again, can you even back then at the time that Bob was retiring? Can you imagine her, because showing the better days? Can you imagine her taking over Price is Right and what a shit show that would have become? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think Drew Carey is a bad replacement. I like Drew Carey, but I just
a lot of people do like him.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad, and the Drew Carey show was entertaining. It really was.
Yeah.
And Whose Line Is It Anyways? I like that show, and that show first started in Britain of all places.
Right, TV4, yeah.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
yeah, it was a great show. Clive Anderson was the host, and yeah, it was a wild show. If you can watch the British Whose Line Is It Anyways? The others pale in comparison. I mean, honestly, they really do.
Yeah.
And which was a big thing about it is they rotated their guests a lot on there.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the new ones, it's basically the same people all the time. It's like, no, I like
it was the same.
I like seeing Mike McShane coming on now and then.
Wayne Brady and those guys, like they did funny stuff. It's just I agree with you. They rotating. It would be just to see more people. I agree, Baron. Yes.
Right. And you had that mix of British and American. And, or in some cases,
and Canadian, right?
With Colin Mockery, you had Canadian. Yeah, exactly. So, it's like, remember what you were. And even when they had their all-American ones on the British show, they brought out the American top hat, to take, for scenes from a hat and all that. But, that was their little specialty shows. And it's still fun. If you can, wherever it is out there, I encourage people find Whose Line Is It Anyways? The British one. I think
it used to be shown on Comedy Central of all things, like in the early 2000s. Crazy.
That's where. Well, yeah. I mean, that's where we first got it. Was on Comedy Central. It's like, holy cow, this is a great show. It was earlier than the early 2000s. I can tell you that for a damn fact.
No, right, exactly. Yeah.
And
Oh,
we all got
definitely it
hooked on
was.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why I'm telling you guys, like, you just don't let people tell you that there is, oh, this stuff is so great. Go back and watch a lot of this other stuff, and you'll find out why people watch these things over and over again. Watch syndication over and over again
Mhm,
because
mhm.
you can't get enough of it. You just can't.
I liked watching Tic Tac Toe as a kid.
Yeah, I
That
remember
was
that
one of my
show.
favorites. And the original Joker's Wild too.
What was that?
Mm-hmm.
80s, I think. The Tic Tac Toe started in the 80s, maybe.
Late
Okay.
70s. Late
Yeah.
70s. I remember being
Okay.
a wee lad when that came out, but
Yeah.
it went
I
into the
mean,
80s.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, you take a look at the shit show that Supermarket Street Sweep became from the original, and then they brought it back again on the Lifetime Network,
Hmm.
and then they did that on I think it was ABC, and they had what's her name from the Ghostbusters 2016, and this is such an
Melissa
obnoxious mess.
McCarthy?
No, the black
Or are you
lady.
talking? It'll hit me in a second.
I know it will.
Yeah, her. Leslie.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't think of her last name right now.
But they turned the show into a shit show, and it's like, no, I can't watch it. I'm sorry, I can't.
Was it just not the format was just not fun anymore, or what? What was it?
She was a horrible host. The format
Okay,
wasn't fun no more. They started adding things like,
Leslie
maybe like,
Jones, right? Leslie
yeah,
Jones.
Joan. I think that's what it is. I think
Okay,
it is.
yeah.
Mhm,
Okay. Yeah, I do kind of remember when they were promoting that. I don't think I
mhm.
ever really did I ever watch it or
I
try to
watched that first one and said, no, 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 I can't do it.
there's a lot of stuff now. I mean, but once again, like the writer's strike, that's why we got all these reality shows, but some of them aren't bad. Some of them but other ones are
You're trying
I
to
don't
you're
yeah,
trying to excuse your love of the Keep Up with the Kardashians. I know you that's your
right,
go
sure.
to,
I
and
can't
that's why you're
watch
trying to
dude,
defend
Cash is a
these channels.
big Kim
people I
Kardashian
gotta tell
simp.
you guys, no, I'm not. But I remember people in college talking about that show, and I says, why should
Mhm.
I care?
Yeah.
Why am I supposed to care about this? Yeah.
And now he can't
Um,
even he can't watch it no more because
the
he's with
great
J Lo now. So
right. The great thing was though, and of course, even E Entertainment, the actual network, the only thing that a lot of these networks are connected with NBC or whatever it is, Universal, have
hmm
is these old movies and some of
hmm
these old shows. But even like the soup, they changed it. They made it more politically correct. Same thing
hmm
they did with Blind Date. And it's like, no, this is never what
yeah.
that show was about, or never
hmm
should be. This is why it was
Huh.
fun, and then they would not have certain comments anymore that they would used to
hmm
say, and, "Oh, man, you missed that because it was fun, it
Yeah.
was funny." Yeah.
Of course.
Mhm.
Of course. And you know, the dating game, the original dating
Mhm.
game,
Yeah.
our newlywed game. Or how
Mhm.
about the great one that they had on MTV, and that was Remote Control.
I didn't watch that one, unfortunately. I'll have to look into
Mm,
that. I'll look into that.
I watched
okay.
it a little bit. I remember
Mm.
Adam, Adam Sandler being on there, and
Remote Control. Was he
but
on that?
I believe it was, if my memory is
Mm.
correct.
All I know is when they kick the contestant off, they da 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 da. Say hey goodbye, and the person's in like an easy chair and it sucks them back off the stage.
Ugh.
I know the one host isn't with us no more.
Yeah. Did you guys ever I know it got crazy too, but did you guys ever watch a more recent one, Fear Factor? Did you ever decide to
Oh
turn
no,
that
I
one
hated
on?
that show.
Oh, that
I hated
show was
that show.
brutal.
Colin Quinn was on there. Ken Ober was on there. Yeah, Adam Sandler was on there. Yep, yep. You're absolutely right, sir.
I
Yep.
remember when they had those
Yep,
like
I was
you
gonna
know,
say I just double checked myself,
Yeah,
and he was on
yeah.
there.
that's
Dennis
interesting.
Leary, he was on there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I always just remembered. I always just remembered Ken Ober on there. I think he's not with us no more. I think he passed away back in 2009. But of course, we got Colin Quinn still and all that. Yeah, I think I remember Colin Quinn being on there too. I don't remember Adam
Colin
Sandler.
Quinn, yeah. Still thought he was a good host for a Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, well, that was a great show. I mean, that was fun to watch. It was, had that energy and silliness, and people were.
Yeah.
You just can't go wrong,
No, you can't.
I'm just kind of looking at it right now. Like, damn it, there we go. I hate when the matches battle me.
But yeah, it's funny. A lot of these old game shows come back, or at least some of them. Maybe I won't say most of them, but I'll say some of them. I think it's fair to say some of them. And yeah, as long as they get a good host, it's fine. There's some people that says Fox is doing the best new game shows on the planet or whatever. I think Ken Young said that. I don't know. It might have been him. Yeah.
Kim Jong-un?
Yeah. No. But I don't know. I know there's one that Patton Oswalt is. They're always talking about.
Yeah.
1%er. I don't know. I'm just not interested. There's another game show where
I've never cared for Patton Oswalt.
I know
I wouldn't be watching that show.
I know.
Yeah, if he's ever on a show, I see these on there, especially if he's the head of it. It's like, nope, pass. He's just such an arrogant crap. I mean, he really is. I don't mean. But here's one.
I didn't like him on King of Queens.
I thought he was pretty good. But
I liked. Yeah, I didn't mind him on King of Queens. I still thought he had a pretty good role on Balls of Fury. He goes, tastes good. Like the way it's so ridiculous. But I thought, yeah, I just don't want to talk to him about politics. No, thank you.
Well, that's all he is now. Going out there and politics and attacking religion. That's all he is now. So
ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And it's with the arrogance. But I got another one to throw at you from TBS did it. Good old Turner Broadcasting. Starcade, which ran back in the 80s for about 4 seasons. They have all the episodes except for one. The guests were the host was Mark Richards for the first season, and then Jeff Edwards came in, who was excellent. Jeff Edwards was so wanting to do this show right because it's all about playing video games, right? He went out and he was playing video games left and right, where Mark Edwards was basically, okay, I'm the host here, kind of phoning in a little bit because I don't know what the hell this garbage is. What's a Pac-Man? That type of thing. Jeff Edwards, Jeff Edwards went out, hit arcades and reading the magazines. He was up on what the trends were for these arcade games. So when the kids came on, he could, here's this old man, right? In the eyes of the kids. And he's on the same level, on the same par, and he knows what it is. He would be giving hints and suggestions on how it went because he played the game, and it showed. And that really was good when he got on there.
And how many seasons did this go for?
Four seasons.
It's called Starcade.
Starcade. I think you can find it on YouTube. I think there's some people that do have it on YouTube. Unfortunately, I wish they would air it. Someone would air it again. They had 123 episodes plus 4 pilots. Can you imagine that? 4 pilots. And
wow.
And there's only 1 episode that is missing of it. It's a complete series except for episode 35, which went missing. But Wink Martindale released one of the pilots, and one of the hosts that they were trying out was Alex Trebek.
Nice.
But he didn't make it. But unfortunately, it was taken down from Wink Martindale's site, which is a shame because, of course, copyright stuff. But it's like, well, then put it out there. People have an interest. Come on. You're not making any money.
Right.
You're not making a damn cent keeping it there. So you might as well let them show it. You don't care.
Yeah.
Arcade.
Oh.
STAR.
Yeah. I found it. It's a lot of it's on YouTube. I'll have to watch some of this later.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
And especially, like I said, when you get to like the 83 with Jeff Edwards coming on there, he was, back then he was, it's like he was cool. Here are all of his kids going, hey, he's pretty damn cool. He knows his stuff, man. Come on, man.
let's
Jeff
see.
Edwards not bad, dude.
Come on, man. And of course, speaking of video games, I don't know if you've watched this documentary, but I highly recommend it. The King of Kong. Highly recommend watching that, Baron, if you haven't
No,
watched that
this is
documentary.
the first time hearing of it.
Oh,
King
you guys.
of Kong?
Yes, the King of Kong. It's about Billy. Shit, I'm gonna have to go look it up. I watched
Billy
this
Batman?
a number of years ago. Billy Mitchell. No, this guy named Billy Mitchell. And he was holding the best record for Kong, and then this guy who's married, who's also married, was trying to beat his record, and it got emotional. But it's very good. But there's this guy who's also the referee of these old 80s games, and he said that he got it. He became a ref so he could get the ladies. And my brother and I just looked at each other and laughed our ass off. It was it was ridiculous, man.
And I bet you he did too.
I I doubt it. But
I bet you he did. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, The King of Kong. It was a documentary in 2007. It's an hour and 19 minutes. Highly recommended.
Who has it?
Who has it? I am not sure, unfortunately. I will have to look. Okay, let's see where to watch. Amazon Prime. You have to pay for that.
Yeah.
There's 3 more. Google Play, of course, Apple TV. That's and Fandango.
Fandango. Yeah. Again, that's
Fandango.
Is that still around?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fandango, there is something I would like for us to watch someday. And maybe talk about it on Pop Talk.
Anonymous, exactly. Yeah.
And it's the Bill Shatner documentary.
Sure.
My name is Bill. That'd be good to see.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not saying we do it as a watch party and talk about it as we're watching it on stream.
No.
I'm saying that we watch it first.
Sure.
And then we come on and talk about it.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to do that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Bill is a living legend, and I'm tired of them trying to tear him down in the character curtain down.
Oh, okay.
Screw you guys.
Oh.
I know you got the site Fandango, but where you can get tickets from. I didn't realize he had a actual streaming.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that somewhere else. I mean, what? Okay, yeah.
I might be able to. You said it's on Prime.
Yeah, you have to pay for it though. Yeah, but
I have Prime right now.
Yeah. I do too. I got Prime too.
Yeah, sometimes
you
they they said from $3.59. Yeah, sometimes you can, right? Yeah, so maybe.
Right. Yeah. Is it? Okay, there we go. Oh, the 1% Club. Oh God, Pat now looks like a self-pompous.
He is pompous.
Yeah,
I know.
So what it sounds like, the audience, of course, is supposed to help you with these questions and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Patton Oswalt.
Yeah. Screw him. I mean, no, I don't want to, but is this still hooked up to our account? I'm just gonna look at where is the search button? I want the search button. Give me a search button. I want search button. Where's search?
Yeah. Come on, man. Amazon Prime, and then let's see, what is this? A King. Yeah.
Here we are. We're making sausage in front of the customers again.
No, they want to. Wait, is this right? Prime
I don't
Video?
know.
Hold on.
I don't know. You're the one looking for it.
I am, and it says no, rent $3.69.
Okay.
Just like it said on or buy it on HD. I mean, it's very good though. Very good.
Yeah, I got the Wikipedia I pulled up on that, as well as Starcade. But yeah.
And if we need to, if we're a bunch of cheap whatever, and if we feel like watching that or not watching it, or do feel like watching it. I guess we can sail the high seas. Maybe, I don't know. What's that? Yeah.
Yo ho, yo ho.
No, it's not that expensive to rent it from
No,
Amazon
it's
and
not. It's not
watch
at
it.
all.
It's not. I
But
mean, those prices,
I
that's what
kid,
we're renting movies for at the
but
video stores, for crying out
but
loud.
yes,
At
I
least we
kid
don't have to
you.
rewind.
Yes, exactly. It's very good though. Very good documentary. It's been talked about on
Especially,
the radio. It's been talked about all over. It's still Billy Mitchell is one of these people. Some of his records of holding from Donkey Kong to this guy comes off as basically a prick. So
right.
people want this other guy to beat his record, and he did.
Mhm.
And there was some shit. Well, I don't want to spoil it all, but Billy
Right.
Mitchell is the person who has some of these records, and then there's been
Yeah.
some controversy a few years ago, and the guy sells hot sauce, if I remember. Yeah, I think that was his became his main business. But he was holding these amazing records for a while. As Anonymous pointed out, there's also been rumors about him cheating, especially with
Yeah.
Donkey Kong, some other stuff. It might have happened. I'm not saying for sure. I wouldn't be surprised, because when you see Billy Mitchell in this documentary and you don't know who he is, he comes off as a big time prick,
Yeah,
which
seen
I
these
think he
Donkey
probably
Kong.
is.
Yeah, Donkey
You got
Kong
it.
Burger Time. That was
Mhm.
interesting. Miss Pac-Man cinema. Well, what did they base the character of Dinklage in Pixels off of? I wonder.
They
That was
might
kind
have.
of the same thing.
They might have.
Yeah.
I've never watched Pixels, but
Oh,
I
you should
know.
see it. It's fun. It's a
All
fun
right.
film. I mean,
Okay.
if you want just a fun, mindless, let's go out and have a stupid time, type of thing. Eat some
Yeah.
popcorn. It's a good film.
Turn
for,
off your
have
brain
family.
and just watch it then, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you need some of that. But I have a sticky feeling that his character, that character was based off of him. But of course,
Okay.
Dinklage is like, I mean, he's tall. He's taller than Robert De Niro, but so he's a little person.
Yeah. You hate Josh Gad, Anonymous?
Oh, Josh Gad. Oh,
He can be. He's just, when he opens up his mouth about certain things, like, dude, shut the hell up. I know. And then you get these other people. Well, everybody has an opinion. Good, and I have one too. You can shut the hell up. Gosh.
Everyone has bungholes, but you don't have to hear from them.
Yeah. They ripped off Men in Black.
Oh.
Oh man. I never watched that newest Men in Black movie. I can't push myself to do it.
The one with Chris Hemsworth and
Mhm.
oh gosh, what's her name?
I can't. Wasn't it the woman also from Valkyrie who was in that? No, maybe not.
I don't
Who was
know.
Valkyrie in the? Okay. No, I didn't think
Why can't I think of her name right now?
Yeah, I never watched that one. I thought the last one with Will Smith wasn't bad though. I thought it was pretty good. The Men in Black 3. I wasn't disappointed in that. I thought that was actually good. I don't know how to feel about Will Smith.
I saw that in the theater, and I thought Josh Brolin did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson was in the
Tessa
reboot
Thompson.
of Men in Black.
Right.
She's the one who played Valkyrie, right? In Thor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Men in Black International.
Yes. Yeah, I never watched that. Yeah,
I never have
Tessa
either.
Thompson, yeah.
Wow, they got Liam Neeson was in there. Okay. Emma Thompson was in there. Wow. But it didn't do well.
No, it's just not it's not Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. So.
Oh well.
Yep.
C'est la vie. Such is life.
Yep. Exactly.
Do we have any other stories?
I don't know.
No,
I think that was
the
it.
last one with Pat Sajak.
Pat. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. I mean, to think about it, my grandmother, who lived on a farm all her life, and was about 2 steps away from being Amish. Because she grew up through the Depression on the farm. They ate large sandwiches. They virtually hand washed stuff until they got one of those barrel round washing machines. And then you took it out and you just wrung them out and you hung the clothes up. Didn't really have a dry. I mean, and she still had that till like the day she died, but then she did get some of the more modern stuff. they had a TV, but my grandfather, he liked watching the news, for that, or he was a big Twins fan. But when the time came, uh, she started watching Wheel of Fortune. She was a big Wheel of Fortune fan. My high school girlfriend and their family were Wheel of Fortune fans. My mom, Wheel of Fortune fan. I mean, I don't care where I went. It's like all these people loved Wheel of Fortune. And
Yep. My grandmother was the same way. It would be like we
Mhm.
watch Jeopardy as the family when we go and visit her, and then we
Yeah.
would watch Wheel of Fortune.
And of course,
Yeah,
Wheel of
'cause-
Fortune was like 6:30 here, so we watch it during supper at the table. She had that TV set right there, so we eat supper with Pat and Vanna.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are times where my mom and dad were still at work, so I would stay at my grandmother's on my mom's side.
Right.
And after watching cartoons, then my grandma wanted to watch Jeopardy. She wanted to watch Wheel of Fortune, Tic Tac Toe, whatever other show was on. She wanted to watch because it was her time.
Yep.
I got to watch my cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
But around that 6:30, 7 o'clock time, it was grandma's time to watch her TV.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah, it was just nice, It's just nice family hour stuff.
And that's what we need.
Yes,
we're
we
losing a
need
lot
more
of
of
that
that.
stuff.
We
Right.
are. We are. Yeah.
All I gotta say.
Mhm.
More fun than Jeopardy. Jeopardy was a bore fest when you're little. Yeah, it was. It wasn't until you started
Mhm.
getting older and you were learning history and actually
Mhm.
retaining that information
Yeah.
Mhm.
where you actually found Jeopardy quite interesting.
Well, high
And you
school
would
for me.
you would sit there, you would answer the questions. What is?
Mhm.
Who is?
What is? Mm-hmm. And I was watching in high school, so I was watching Jeopardy in the 80s. You're talking about like 84, 85, 86, 87. So, I was watching it way back then, and always loved to watch Jeopardy
Agreed,
when I could.
Darren. Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, and those two like each other. I mean,
Yes, they do.
honestly, yeah. So
That's not what your mother said last night, Trebek.
those are the best on Saturday Night Live. Those are the
Those are
best.
some great stuff, dude. We got Burt Reynolds here. Hey, hey.
Yeah.
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 He's always chewing gum and shit.
Cowboy
Norm
hat.
MacDonald. Oh, what a
Yeah,
talent that
Norm.
man
He was
was.
great in
God.
that. Yeah.
He was funny as the pigeon in the Mike Tyson's Mystery.
Oh, I miss him.
Yeah.
He was
He was
good.
good. He was good.
Yeah. Mike Tyson Mysteries. It's crazy. If
Mhm.
you guys ever watch that show, you're gonna laugh your ass off because the
I guess I'm
situations
gonna
are
have to
too
watch it.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I have to see if I can hunt it down now. Thank you, Cash.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Norm was the goat. I agree. No, anonymous.
He was.
Even if he was Canadian, we'll give him a pass.
Yeah.
You know us, we don't like Canadians here.
And now we have Mr. Sean Connery.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that
Hello,
up somewhere. I
Trebek.
know we can't show it, but
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean, Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek, he was good doing that. I have to give props.
Oh
to
yeah,
him
yeah.
on
He
that
can
one.
be funny. It's just other stuff. It's just certain things he does that it can be
Right.
funny, and then there's other stuff he does, movies that even he's done with Mark Wahlberg, where you're just like, ugh, like guys, this is not really
Yeah.
very good at all.
I love the episode they did where Alex Trebek actually did walk on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. They did. Yeah.
That was
Yep.
absolutely friggin' hysterical.
Remember,
Oh.
he was funny in that guest star he had on Cheers with
Mhm.
Cliff.
With
That
Cliff,
was
yeah.
he came by to the bar to talk to Cliff, and yeah, it's funny. Oh my gosh! Yeah, here we go. Will Ferrell, Celebrity Jeopardy, as Trebek.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
French Stewart. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, French
From
Stewart.
Third Rock from the Sun. That was a good show too. That was a fun show. They couldn't get away. They couldn't get away with those jokes nowadays. I bet. No
No.
way. No
And
way.
of course, Shatner was a guest star on there.
So was China. I was
Yeah.
watching one episode a few months ago. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy, I tell you. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Take a look at the scores. Sean Connery.
Minus
Sean
1,000.
Connery with negative 100,000.
I wonder what
Don't you
Sean
know
Connery had to say.
You're just jealous, Trebek.
You're just jealous, Trebek.
I wonder what the real Sean Connery thought about all that.
Oh my
I'm sure
gosh.
people had to sit back.
He probably went, oh, bloody hell, these Americans.
Yeah, I don't think it really upset him. I really
No, he had a
I
sense
don't
of humor.
Yeah,
He had a real sense of humor. He could poke fun at himself.
Did you guys ever see that Family Guy? They're in the sauna or whatever. They're sitting next to Sean Connery. Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry. The damage has already been done.
Oh no! I mean, even back when he was doing Bond, everyone thought that he had a stick up his ass, but no, he didn't. He was making fun about having to wear the wig, the toupee. He hated that toupee. He hated that toupee. But of course, they had to make him wear it and all that. And I think he was impish, and so he could take a joke, and I'm sure. I'm sure he kind of enjoyed it because it was a respectful poking fun at him.
Yeah.
It wasn't being mean spirited, and that's the important thing. It's not mean spirited. When it gets to being mean spirited, that's when it's like, okay.
Yeah, when it gets mean spirited, you can tell they're just not putting much time into it.
They're just being mean.
When the character, they just want to be mean to be mean. Like if I'm going to make fun of any people on, SNL is so far on the left. It's insane. Yeah, I can't.
I mean, SNL has always been left of center. At the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is they went after.
They went after everybody, man. What about Janet Reno's dance party? Oh, hey, I'm Janet Reno.
Yeah, and George H.W. Bush appreciated Dana Carvey's impersonation of him.
He did.
Almost like the last night at the White House, he had him. He was in the Lincoln bedroom.
Yeah,
and I remember that press junket. After they're talking, he goes, he's with H.W. there in the White House. He goes, yeah, got in there. I got on the phone. He said, I just want to have the Secret Service. Want to let them know going out jogging now, naked. It's like it's George W. George H.W. just laughing his ass off next.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially when he goes naked.
It's just, I just, that's what I'm saying, man. Like these people, they've had funny skits. Even people like Jimmy Fallon has had some funny skits in the past on SNL, But to me, once again, when it comes to certain things, that Conan should have been the one who got the Tonight Show. He should have been.
Well, he did have the Tonight Show. Then Jay Leno pitched a fit.
Right, and Jay Leno messed that up. I don't hate Jay Leno, but in that situation, he was wrong. He was wrong.
Well, what happened was he thought he was going to make a big thing with his show that he was going to have on prime time, and it failed big time. So he had that little clause to make sure he could come back.
Yeah, and when he did that show at later in the day, it was like, no, man, you're just kind of screwing over Conan on this. Yeah,
the 9-10 o'clock hour. Then of course, and the night show afterwards, and Jay's show flopped big time. It wasn't good.
It wasn't very good the way he had it for the format of that. No, it's
It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, his automobile stuff is pretty interesting. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, but he wanted to make sure he was all secure, and so he went back and screwed over Conan because he had that little clause in there. There was that clause.
After all the crazy stuff Conan had done and fun stuff on his show, he started changing too. Like a few years ago, it was like, dude, no.
Well, Letterman.
Letterman, yeah.
Letterman, we was on the late night, late night with David Letterman on NBC.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was a wild time. He'd do crazy things. He was entertaining.
Mhm.
Then he had that fight for the night show. He went over to
Mhm.
CBS,
Yeah, that was a
and
big
he
deal. Yeah.
changed. Yeah, but he changed a little
Mhm.
bit. Some of that
Mhm.
stuff went, and
Mhm.
he became more, I don't know,
Yeah.
prickish.
There was maybe so, but, like, he still, of course, had good interviews, and then he had
Oh
Paul
yeah,
with him, and they had things like Know Your Cuts of Meat, Know Your Championship Bowlers.
right.
Those things were very clever. Yeah.
But some of that stuff he had to leave behind because they're copyrighted by,
Oh,
owned by
man, of
NBC.
course, of
I
course.
mean, Larry Bud Melvin, when he went over there, you couldn't use Larry Bud Melvin no more. They had to go with another name.
No. I don't these things are crazy, man, and entertainment just crazy.
Yeah, and I know that Letterman was, Johnny's choice. I know he was Johnny's choice, but
Mhm.
and it's odd to see when you had Jay Leno guest hosting and Letterman's a guest.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That's a weird one. But that's the one thing though, is they kept on having Jay Leno on as the the guest host or the whatever, the Monday host or whatever when Johnny wasn't there. So it was those nights were Jay, and then of course Johnny had the 3 days that he was on. It's really hard to make that switch. You got to blame the network for that. It's like if you're pushing Jay Leno to the front like that, how can you give it to Letterman?
Mhm.
And you can't blame Leno for thinking that they're and this is a good way of saying grooming me to take over the show
Right,
because I've
right.
been doing it so much. And
Mhm.
Letterman's got his own thing. But
Right.
then you have Johnny who wants to have, of course, it's going to be a big mess. And of course, feelings are going to be hurt because, on both sides of Letterman and Leno.
Yeah.
Johnny's saying this to Letterman, how he thinks the network is basically going this with Leno. Both are thinking they're going to be the heirs. And, in the end, the network win because what they were doing, they were grooming Leno to take over because they wanted to
Mhm.
keep Letterman on late night.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, well, you bring up about
And then
Joan
see,
Rivers. Yeah, Joan Rivers was originally getting groomed to take over until she
didn't
did that
Mm-hmm.
little stint. Yeah, I
Joan
think Johnny
Rivers
would have left. Hmm?
Go ahead.
I think Johnny would have retired earlier too if she didn't pull that stunt.
I think Joan Rivers, I can't remember if she started that fashion police stuff. This is why, like, these shows were funny, and now it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's offensive. No, that's fun. These people wear these weird clothing. Why can't we make fun of them? Oh, it's
She and
wrong.
her, yeah,
That was a
she and her
pretty fun
daughter.
show. Yeah, that
Yeah,
they started that fashion police. That was
right.
that wasn't a bad idea at all, actually.
No,
Yeah.
well, Joan Rivers was a funny lady. She was a funny
Oh
lady.
yeah,
But,
definitely.
I mean, her show wasn't able to take, and that became the Arsenio Hall show.
Interesting. Yeah. Hmm.
And that
Arsenio
gave
tried to come back. What was it?
he
A few years
tried.
ago, he tried. It's not his fault. Things just happen. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing he kept on relying on dropping Eddie Murphy's name all the time, and they kind of got a little bit of a
Oh
tiff
really?
between it because he kept on going about I work
Oh,
with
about what?
I'm tight with Eddie
Uh-huh.
Murphy, I'm tight with that type of stuff all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
Eddie
Oh
kind of
wow.
got a little tired of
Interesting.
that, which made
Yeah.
it interesting that they came back for that Coming to America film, both of them. So they must have buried the hatchet or realized that it's better that we do this than together than not. I
I
don't know.
can't push
Mm-hmm.
myself to watch that second one. Just can't.
I mean, I want to, but
Yeah.
it's just like it's kind of hard because
Yeah.
you because you want to see James Earl Jones, you want to see Eddie, you want to see Arsenio,
Of
but
course.
you want to see Louis Anderson
Oh, Louis. Yeah, he
and
had a good role in that in the first one.
James Amos was in there too, wasn't he?
Yes.
Still
Yes.
you want to
Yep.
see these guys because they're all good.
Yes.
This
Really
is
funny. Yeah.
little Louis out there, there he is still. How many years later, working at the same burger place,
Right, that could have been funny.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
like,
I want
yeah,
to,
he's still got
yeah.
the same job, same position. He just hasn't moved up after all those years.
And these are the things that make me want to watch it. I'm still tempted to watch it for all
You
this
bring
stuff.
back
But
Samuel Jackson, he tries to rob the place again and stuff. Even that small role he has is so funny. I mean, they
good.
took shots at everything. You had the royal snobs. You had the people who were poor. You know how they treat people.
Everybody,
Your
yeah.
your daughter is above my son or below my son or whatever. I mean, it's
Right.
just like,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, wow. And it was good, but it was good
Mhm.
banter.
Right.
Uh, Why would you want to
The-
do a sequel to that after the first one is just so funny? It's a good story.
Yeah, it is. I want to watch it. It's like
Yeah.
the royal penis has been washed. It's like,
Right.
but a little. There's a little tie-in though with that movie in Star Trek V. Did you know that
No, I didn't actually.
the palace
What's the
that
time?
the palace that they're in, James Earl Jones and all that big huge
Uh-huh.
palace, that became the shuttle bay for Star Trek V.
Really? No, I didn't
Yeah,
know
they
that.
redressed it for Star Trek. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That does happen though. They use
Oh
the
yeah,
same
it's
sets, so
amazing.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, they reset, so all they have to do is redress them
Very
and
cool.
make
Yeah.
sure they look different enough where you can't even tell.
Right. I mean, the Munsters house has been used so many times and stuff.
That's
You would
awesome.
never, it made its appearance on what was that one? Mark Cherry did it. It was the housewife one, being narrated by the dead woman, and she's narrating about the lies. The house. Oh, I can't remember. Terry Hatcher was in it. I know that much. So.
Yeah.
But it was used in there, but you wouldn't have recognized it unless you had a keen eye, because they changed it so much. The Beaver's house was in, it's used so much from Leave It to Beaver. So it's amazing how much gets reused. And then you got those rental companies that rent out props. That's why you see that little thing that they talked about in Airplane 2. That's the little lights, the 4 flashes. What's this thing for? It was in Star Trek 2. It was in Buck Rogers. You always saw it in those 80s.
Well,
70s,
you even saw it back in Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager.
You did, yep. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a running gag almost that's got to appear sometime. It's like, what does this do?
Well, that's why the whole thing. It's like story, characters, detail. Like you can be in awe at how good the detail is. Even back then, you're like, wow, they put a lot of time. I mean, look at the Babylon 5. We go back to Babylon 5, but those sets were, I know Phil mentioned it yesterday, but yeah, the sets, things you see in Deep Space Nine, stuff you see in TNG. I mean, there's just cool stuff to look at.
Right. Exactly.
Like you said, the picture frames where they're placed, the where the glasses are, where the table is, yeah.
Well, like I said last night, the way they dress that scene with Londo, Dylan, and Sheridan when they're on Minbar having dinner together, they made sure to make it look like it was lived in.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Which I think is definitely a tribute to the set designers.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of love that went into this show. A lot of love. And I think most people that got on that set enjoyed it. And in one fashion or another, there's some guy that's on the Facebook or Twitter, whatever. He posts pictures of, because he was a background character, whether they needed an alien or a security guard, whatever. He's posting all these images and him hanging out with the stars, having a good time. Because some of the actors, I think Claudia Christian was one of them, would come out and sit with the extras and have fun and such. It was like a different atmosphere on there. I guess it helps that you're doing it inside a former hot tub factory, so you're kind of away a lot of that Hollywood bullshit, and I think in some ways that helped a little bit, being so far away in the connections. And when Jerry Doyle got his divorce from what's her name that played Talia Winters, he hung up. He stayed with Andreas Katsoulis, and he was in some of the stories that he has to say about Andreas Katsoulis are absolutely hysterical living with him. In his,
that's awesome.
It's just these stories that these people have about being behind scenes. You can see it was, and I want to know who the award winner guest star came on the show that Jerry Doyle just jumped all over, because he was being an ass and not prepared and all that. And Jerry Doyle just dressed him down. If you're going to come here, you be prepared. You do the job. You get the things done. You be in focus. All that. And and JMS had to follow through. It said it didn't matter what happened the night before. He could have been on a bender till 3:00 in the morning and have a 6:00 call the next day, or the same day in that case. And Jerry would be here. Yeah, he'd be probably hungover and bedraggled, but the moment action, he was in the park and did it and hit his marks.
That's what's important.
That's how much, and that's what he expected of others.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one of the bigger guest stars coming in. I don't know who. I'd like to know who. That he just dressed down because here he is. Jerry Doyle on the syndicated show dressing down this major, a little bit more major star, and I would have loved to have seen that. I'd love to have seen that.
Yeah.
Other than that, he'd get along with you, but yes, Richard Biggs would, kind of goad him into debate and arguments, on the set because, Jerry Doyle was a very political guy. He was more than willing to debate and discuss. Obviously he had his own radio show. He was a guest host for Mike Savage, and then went on and got his own show. And Richard Biggs would just tweak him, to get him going. Patricia Tolman would sit back and say, it's like watching two brothers. They loved each other, but they tweaked each other too. I would love to have been on that set.
I know.
I would love to have been on that set.
Yeah.
I would love to have gotten a behind the scenes tour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah. I got to find a way to get a DVD hooked up here. We could watch that documentary. Or it's not even a documentary; just the raw clips of the behind the scenes from season 1 and 2, and then they have the one where Patricia Tallman, Collier Christian, and Jerry Doyle are doing commentary about this stuff, and you're getting little zips on that, and it's like, oh my word, this is just worth it. It's amazing the CNN guy kept all this stuff, and he discovered it and then sent it to the company that JMS had so they could publish it out like that. I mean, you can't get it no more if you can't. It's it's on like eBay for don't even ask.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I mean, it was pricey in the first place to get it, but I had to get this one. I had to get this one as a B5 guy. But well, maybe you technical guys can help me out later on to figure out how to get a DVD thing running on here, and I can play it for you guys, for all of us. But yeah, it's great. It's fun, and it brings tears to your eyes. And there's one thing about it, watching it. There, it always seems like there's something going on between Jerry Doyle and Claudia Christian. The playfulness sometimes they have with each other. So it kind of after a while makes you wonder: did they have a thing going on themselves? Because
or did they just enjoy working with one another that much? That
yeah, it's again that camaraderie that they have on it. But the playfulness of it all. But I wouldn't blame Jerry if he hooked up with Claudia Christian, two of a kind, and all that. And hell, JMS hooked up with Patricia Tallman. Why not?
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. He didn't hate redheads, that's for sure. Cash.
Who could
hate him, man?
Really, who could?
How dare you? How dare you, Baronet? Yeah.
I dare everything.
Well,
yes, because you're a Baron Norman Tag.
Yes.
Yep. You know me. The one thing we haven't been doing much on this again. We've been falling down
our clips.
Like,
that's right. Well, I said, I ain't giving you no 350, you goddamn Loch Ness monster. Get your own goddamn money.
I gave him
I gave him $1. Gave him $1.
I was going to say that's all right because we're about to wrap up here.
Yes. And we are?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yes, Baron.
This is what Baron's going to do after the show.
You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
And this is
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
He's going to wonder, but the show's over?
And then Baron's going to be like,
why do you have to be mean like that?
Why is the show over? Come on, man. Baron Pop's a bad dude. Come on, man.
If you've got an issue, here's a tissue.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
But before we go, ladies and gentlemen, I would like Cash and Baron to promote themselves, starting with Cash.
Woohoo! All right, so 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next week, Friday, we'll be back with another multiplayer game. We don't know if it'll be Aliens, Fireteam Elite, or Dark Tide, or maybe it'll be something else, but one of those.
All I know is you got the blonde-haired Moppet stoked.
Do I?
You got her stoked for this now. It's like, wow. It's the chin, man.
She calls you. She calls you. She's like, "Oh, is it time to play Dark Tide yet?"
No, I have to call her. But the thing is, you heard her. You heard her on the show. Are we doing this next week? Are we doing this next week?
Hey, it's all about having fun, man. That's always what it is. All about having fun. I'm glad you guys want to do this each week and have fun, and we're getting things accomplished, even with Phil McCracken's nonsense. We're still getting things accomplished. That's right. He can shoot.
Yeah, really, he is Joe Biden. Just listen to him. He wants his ice cream. He's in the basement. Goes out biking, falls over on the corner of Brandon Falls and Corn Pop Boulevard. Yeah.
And then, of course, tomorrow we're going to do a simulcast around 4:10 p.m. my time. I don't know what it is about Jace's time. It'll be 6:10 around there p.m.
My time
Central. Yeah. And we'll be on with some guests too. So we'll see what happens there. But we're going to do a Men's Health Awareness Month stream. And what I would like to do after this is that we keep reminding people. I think a good sign off is that men's health is just as important as women's health. They can both be just as important because everybody goes through mental health.
Right.
So
yeah, especially when you start seeing suicide rates.
Yes.
And especially suicide rates among veterans.
Yes.
It's you can see where the demographic goes higher on, and that's not to take away from women, because obviously a lot of women have issues too. And when I say issues, it's not a slam. I mean, we all have issues, right?
Right.
But, we got our demons, things that bother us, and that goes, men and women. But for the longest time, for decades, if not even longer, men are told to buck up and keep it inside, and sometimes there comes that breaking point, and it's like, you can't fire me, God, I quit attitude sometimes, or other things, and especially being involved in families, and sometimes I'll even go so far as say someone who's being abusive to another person. What is it that drove that person to be that way? Is part of mental health, and I'm not excusing abuse. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But what can we do to help prevent that? What can we do to prevent something like that? And then, of course, to help the person that did break down.
And look, I understand the parents can only do so much with these kids and stuff. And yes, there is stuff like bullying. Yes, that does lead to mental health. But if you can teach your kids to stand up for themselves, I think it'll be a big help. I think that's we'll talk about more of that stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to start the show now. We can say, hey, we're serious. Get on now, kids. Come on,
right? Exactly.
And, and it's going to be a serious show. Yeah, there's probably going to be some chuckles and laugh, because just like there's that podcast out there with a guy who's terminally ill, but they're going through his last days on there talking about it, and it's like, what are you going to do? Going to cry about it? No, we're going to have a good time. We're going out on a high note type of thing, and that's going to be the same thing here. It's like, yeah, we have this, but it's gonna, we're being hurt, but are we gonna let it down? And part of it is, like my therapist is back and says, I have a good attitude about it.
Right, which is look, and a lot of people have therapists, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, whatever helps you get through the day, whatever helps you feel happy through the day.
Yeah, I mean, I got Bob Newhart. I got the best.
Dude, Bob, he will always give you a laugh. His comedy
but he was the therapist in the Bob Newhart show, and those things.
That's right, he was
hysterical. But
He was funny as Captain Proton or whatever, or Dr. Proton or some Professor
Or whatever.
Proton.
Professor
Me.
Proton, yeah.
Yeah, he was hilarious, dude. He's just timing. It's great. But
The button down
yes, but yeah. So that, and then of course, as long everything should be fine for Tuesday, and then at around 6:30 p.m.
No, that's
Pacific
Monday.
time.
That's Monday.
Yeah, no, but
No. He's talking about what he and I are doing
Oh, you
Tuesday.
got
We're doing,
yeah.
we're doing a simulcast of
Yes.
Double Dragon Guide
Yeah.
and Rise of the Dragons.
They kicked me to the side. We don't want you, Baron. We're going to do this without you. So So
well, Baron, if you get the game, you can play with us, man.
Well, no, I mean when it comes to my turn, I can follow through with this. So finish up. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
I got important things, man.
Yeah, okay, Baron. Okay, but so that's coming up, and then of course Pop Talk on Wednesday, and then Thursday. Crazy
Hey! Now he's taking my limelight.
I know.
Jesus, jeez,
No,
man. Here we are.
Hours later.
No, you can still say it, Mike. I'm just being funny, but no, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming up, but just on the Phantom Hooligans, that's what's coming up right now. So that's 3 streams. So that'd be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So that's all that's coming up. So. That was fun, but anyways.
Well, I haven't heard back. Is it my turn now?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yes, Baron,
Really?
it's your turn.
Okay. Okay. Well, I haven't heard back. I was asked to, but I don't. I haven't heard anything back from Master Paul. But Master Paul wants me on his beginner series on Tuesday. I think it's going to be about roughly 7, 8 o'clock. I'm not too sure. And we'll be talking about Star Trek EU, which is going to be interesting because when Star Wars fans had the EU taken away from Disney, a lot of us Star Trek fans goes, "Oh, it's your first time." We can count many times that happened with us with Star Trek. So we're going to talk about the more fun, interesting, exciting days of Star Trek, where imagination beyond peril. I mean, you can't hold the torch to it. I mean, the EU with a lot of fans actually came out and did some great fan stuff, and then it moved on to comics, books, novels, going into video games. Yeah, you had Star Trek SOS, then also going into I'd say comics and role playing games.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Franz Joseph with his stuff that he came out with technical, and the evolution of that, how that happened. And I'm going to trash Gene Roddenberry a little bit in this. I mean, Gene Roddenberry, is a great turd, great bird, but sometimes he could be the great turd. And we are very thankful for what he gave, but he really did a lot of people a lot of dirty, and that involves with this EU going through. So,
him also saying that the animated series wasn't canon. Meanwhile, some fans like myself and a couple other people I know consider it canon, especially when you take some stories from the animated series and make them canon.
Mm-hmm. And actually, that's going to be one of the things that we're going to talk about, because the animated series is a long, strange journey on that one, back and forth, and some not.
Well,
so I'm going to talk a little bit about the animated series.
Well, you might want to suggest
Mm-hmm.
pictures and slideshows of the. I know, if it's there. Yeah,
I'll find something. Don't worry. But I do want to talk about that animated series and Franz Joseph, because there's a lot of dirty done deals between all that and others. So unfortunately, Gene Roddenberry has left a wake of crap that he did to people, as much as this creative. Star Trek, he gave us Star Trek. He had the idea, he got it going, but really it's a lot of the people that was around him that made it flourish, from Ted Sturgeon to Gene Kuhn to DC Fontana. Or I should just say Dorothy Fontana. I mean, we don't have to hide the fact she's a woman. We don't care. David Gerald, all these guys. He did a lot of people dirty, but these people are the ones that helped really shape what Star Trek was, and it affected the EU. And so I'm going to try to do the best I can all across the board. I mean, there's just a lot to cover. A lot to cover in there. So Don't expect to hear anything about new Star Trek because it's not Star Trek. I might not even go beyond Next Generation. I might not even touch Next Generation. I might just touch it briefly.
Okay.
Just a brush. And that's about it.
Just want to focus on the basically
the EU.
older,
The extended universe that changed many times and for many reasons.
And is the animated stuff like some of it's on YouTube, right? Is the original stuff or tied in?
The animated series? No, you probably can only find that on Paramount Plus.
On Paramount, it used
So
to be.
you
out
can
there.
only find Star Trek Continues or whatever on YouTube.
Star Trek
Well, no, Star
Continues.
Trek
that's on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's
YouTube.
Vic
That
Mignogna's
was-
fan made
right.
continuation of the original series.
But I hear a lot of
Right.
really good things about that, and I've heard
Yeah.
you guys talking about it too. So
Right, you got the two out there. You got Star Trek Continues, which is Vic Mignogna. Then you had Star Trek Phase 2, and then they turned it. I can't remember what it was originally, the Continuing Voyages or whatever. And that's the one that was done by James Cawley, who now turned all those sets into a museum in New York. So he did a deal with Paramount, and I mean, I don't mean mean to Jim Cawley because he did a great job, but he can be a little pissy sometimes, and he has a tendency sometimes to take swipes at Vic Mignogna and Star Trek Continues. But Star Trek Continues is a very solid, and I think James Cawley's series was very was a kind of a solid one too. It led the way to take this and do it serious and try to get that look and feel of Star Trek. Both are worth a watch.
okay.
But I think Mignogna's did the better of it, and there's a lot of people that cross back and forth between those two.
Yeah,
but I probably won't be talking about that. I probably won't be talking about those fan films.
Right.
No, you're mainly going to focus on the literature.
Right. Well, literature, games, and also like the animated series, stuff like that. So the stuff that kept it alive and kept us alive and excited. So hopefully Master Paul will get back to me because I'm kind of stoked about talking about it. But
Very nice.
And I'm
there is something I don't know if you guys want to talk about it or if you want to wait and talk about it. But there is something that the two of you are working on. I don't know if you want to mention that to anybody. And
well, it's up to Cash. Really, it's his show. I'm just helping out behind the scenes and all that. Even gave him a whole list of ideas.
Yeah, he did.
But we added to. We even added to today when we're talking to Chase.
That's right. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, we're just not ready to talk much about it yet. Maybe in a few days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, can I drop the name?
Go ahead.
I think we agree to Phantom Hooligans, the War Room. So
yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
Right, and it's going to be a serious. Obviously, us, goofing around and all that here with Jason's show and on Pop Talk here. Even though we are serious, it is going to be a little bit more serious show. I will sit back and say that, and we will have topics, and we're going to be seriously discussing, and it's going to be about pop culture, but it's not going to necessarily be centered around science fiction fantasy.
Exactly.
It's going to be expanding all across the board because I think all of it needs to be. And Cash too, needs to be explored. So, we're still getting a little polishing on it, and then I hope we can get going on it soon. Maybe I'll make some little quick videos that we can use in the show. We go from one topic to another, and stuff like that. And we got to figure out an opening. But I think we have everything basically down to what we want to do now. It's just actually doing the footwork.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I'm not against talking about newer topics too. People want to talk about new shows that they watch. If with things we bring in topics of that, why do you guys really? What is it about these new shows? If it's Star Wars, even if people are like, I like this Doctor Who, and we want to ask why, but I want to have a good discussion about it. I don't want to sit there and say like, oh, you're trash, you're this and that. No, I want to have a good discussion about this. So why do you feel this way, but if we get anybody on the panel who starts attacking each other, we'll have to be like, okay, let's move on to the next topic. It is the War Room though. I get it.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's a name because it's going to be a. I hate using this phrase. I really do. Forgive me, Cash. A safe space for being able to go out there and express your opinion and not be
Yeah.
jumped down.
Yeah,
And especially if it's an
exactly.
opinion that we don't agree on. Now,
Yep.
Cash and I don't agree on everything, obviously. A lot
Mhm.
of people that we deal with, but it's a safe space for you to walk out there and say what you think. But as long as the person that that we have for lineup for guests on there to talk with us, yeah, as long as they, we have in the list that we have, we know are good people.
Mhm.
We're not even going to let that list out yet either, or
Right.
how it's going to be affected. But we want to have people that what is so good about this series? You have to be able to defend your position. That's
Yes.
why this is the war room,
Yes.
and it's not the fact that you're going to be going into a hostile situation, but we're just having fun. Think of it as like the Saturday morning talking head show,
Mhm.
but
And
funner,
and
more entertaining.
I think we'll be okay playing clips from some of these old shows. We may have to pause them or maybe just
Right.
have the words on there. I don't know how we can do that, but I have seen people just running it even on the premium YouTube of people talking, but if there's no music, I think it's okay. I don't know. It seems like there should be a gray area there. I don't
Well, yeah,
know.
especially when you're talking about it and you're
Yeah, they're
basically
just
quoting.
talking. So if we sound Ellison talking about stuff like we did before, we could show some of that. And I really do think, topics that some of them have talked about years ago, we can still talk about.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Especially bringing back the fandom of old, where we could just sit
Mhm.
around and talk and not be
Yes.
offended. I mean,
Yes.
just like Tom on Chase's show. I mean,
Exactly.
exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have to agree on everything. Clarity
No.
to agreement, and that's what's
That's
important.
that's right, man. Exactly. But it'll be nice because we'll just have to keep working on the structure, make sure it's good. But it's going to be everything. When it starts, I don't think we're ready to start it yet. It may take a few weeks. I don't know. We want to
Yeah,
make sure
I think a
things
couple
are. It's
weeks.
going to take some time. But when it started, yeah, it'll probably be on a Saturday, most likely, um, and probably an hour later than when we did the Babylon 5 stream, something around there. Yeah,
Oh, you
we'll
want
go
8 o'clock
about.
my time? Oh, great, thank you. Okay, keep me up later at night. Why don't you?
No, is that good for you? Are you good
Oh, it's
around
fine
that
by me.
time?
I'm
Oh,
just, I'm
yeah.
just, yeah, just yanking on
Well, no, but we'll see, if it works out with guests and stuff. If it doesn't,
you.
we just it
Right.
shouldn't be hard for us to find guests, really. Like, I'm not being arrogant, but it should be hard to find
Well,
guests to
no.
have people come on and talk about this stuff.
Well, it's not being arrogant. It's just the fact that we know a lot of great people out there, and they are great
Mhm.
people, fellow
Mhm.
fellow content creators, fellow
Mhm.
YouTubers.
Yep.
And the reason why they're being considered to be asked is because they are great people and great fun to be with.
Mhm.
So, um, and again, it doesn't. It's not an echo chamber.
No, that's
No,
the whole
we
point. It's not, and no one's supposed to be, attacked or whatever for their opinions. If somebody says, "Oh, you're an idiot," or this, we're going to be like, "No, no, 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 stop." That's
I
not what
think
this
yeah,
is about.
I
We
think
can
that
kind
I
of
think
laugh it off, but no, no,
yeah.
don't do that.
I think the big thing is we want you to be able to come with your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions. We don't want someone coming on there and say, "Well, yeah, I was watching Bob Berditzman, his
No.
cast, and they said this." It's like that's
Yeah.
great. What do you have
Are
to
you
say?
are you saying the struggle's real for you to join live streams there, Darren, or
I don't know.
I mean,
Struggle for
look,
me.
man, I'll say this, Darren. You've had some very good points about stuff like Cobra Kai and so on, man. I gotta
Mhm.
tell you, I didn't mind Cobra Kai Disney or what. No, that's not what it was. I'm getting that wrong. That's not what it was. It was something else. It was three names, but I wish you could have. I personally wish you kept that name, Darren. Actually, but I know you were changing it because you don't like the way Disney was going and stuff. I get it.
He was Cobra Disney Jedi.
Cobra Disney Jedi. That's it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you got Cobra Kai. Yep. And then Disney Jedi, right? For Star Wars and then Disney. Yeah. Yep. But I didn't think you ever needed to change your name, Darren, personally, but that's just me, man. I think you could have kept that name, even with all the nonsense going on with Disney, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Mike's back.
He
Okay,
is.
that's all we got to basically see. But yeah, we're excited. We're looking forward to it. We hope you will be, and we'll be enjoying it. So.
Yes.
All right. And as far as what's coming up on Pacific Forum 4, Tuesday at a special start time of 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time, and of course 8:30 p.m. Central Time. As you've heard, Cash and I will be playing Double Dragon Gaiden: Rise of the Dragons. It's been a while since we've played a 2D beat 'em up, so we're gonna be doing that. That'll be on the Twitch channel, the YouTube channel, and the Rumble channel for Tuesday, and then Wednesday on the Rumble channel and YouTube channel, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, will be your Wednesday edition of Pop Talk, but Wednesday's edition will be a watch party of a great sci-fi classic, and one that I can certainly see was a big influence on Star Trek itself, and that's Forbidden Planet, starring Leslie Nielsen, long before he became Frank Drebin of Police Squad or the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, this was the days when he was the lead actor or the heavy. You can blame Airplane for turning him into to the comedic guy later on. But yeah, and he was good in there. There's just no doubt about it. You watch him, it's like, wow, he should be in the center seat.
And then on Thursday, I figured since I played it on Orthodox Star Wars Day and I'm finished with Stellar Blade, I might as well continue with the remaster of Dark Forces. And that'll start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. Then, of course, I'll be with Cash and Baron and possibly Cat. On Friday, playing Dark Tide. If not Dark Tide, we might be playing Aliens Fire Team.
If we're playing that, then we'll have to switch people out, but that'll be fine.
Yeah, no problem.
It just all depends. And for any of the channel members out there who might be listening or lurking, I do want to let you all know that this coming Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time will be the member stream for the month of June. So I hope to see as many of you there as possible. And also, I know I don't do this that much, but I'm going to do it today. If you'd like to become a member of Pacific Forum 4 and be a part of those monthly member streams where you get to dictate what we talk about, it's not Pop Talk, not at all. It's you guide the conversation. I'll listen and, add in when I can add in something that's relevant to the conversation. But you dictate the topic that we discuss.
It's member talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's only $4.99 a month if you want to become a member.
And not only that, you get a Pacific 414 spatula.
No, Baron, please.
Not
no.
the spatula again, man. Come on, bro.
I'm trying to be serious here, man.
I know you are, but
man,
no,
Baron, you just wanted to just ruin the party there. Well,
but honestly,
yeah.
But in all seriousness, join up, be part of the family, be part of the fun. It helps out Mike. One of the things it helps out for, I don't think he said, but it goes, whatever you do for the membership does go straight back into this program or whatever it is that Mike is doing on YouTube, especially when it comes around the video games. We all know that video games are getting so friggin' expensive now for no reason at all. No reason at all.
Yep.
But, $70 for a game. But if you want to see Mike play a game, this helps him to go out there and grab a game. Or maybe there's a game that he thinks that you're interested in seeing.
Right.
And he's not afraid to play any type of game out there, whether it is a remaster from Dark Forces, which is a game from the 1990s, or the Mad Max one, which is like 10 years old now, 10 years old. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Mike, if he thinks that you'll like it and he likes it, he'll play it for you. No BS. So please become a member. Yeah, you're not going to get a spatula, but you're going to get a hell of a lot of fun, which is better than the spatula, right? So do it, folks.
The member streams, the member streams are a lot of fun for the members who have joined us. Again, you guys get to dictate the topic of conversation. I don't come onto the member stream and say, "Okay, guys, this is what we're
Yeah.
talking about,"
No,
Any
no.
and I don't say, "No, I don't want to talk about that."
Yep.
There are topics I don't even know too much about because either A, it's about a show I'm not watching, so I'd rather hear it from one of you.
Yeah.
Why should I watch this show?
Mhm.
Why should I
Mhm.
give it my time? Why should I give this movie my time? Why should I give this
Yeah.
game my time? Or, we have delved into, what's happening in the world too.
Anything.
Yeah, and it
Families.
doesn't it does yeah.
Memories.
It doesn't matter if co-hosts are there or whatever. It's the members. So if you'll be like we've had before when I've popped into a member stream, and they were like, "Oh well, aren't you guys want to talk some more?" No, this is for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mike's
Mhm.
members stream. So this is for you. Just because we're co-hosts there doesn't mean we don't want you guys to talk. This is for
I
you.
want to hear. I want to hear you guys talk.
So please talk. Don't worry about
And
us. We're happy to sit back and listen. We
And
really are.
and also, I can hear somebody say, "Oh, so you're not doing open panels now, but you want people to pay to come onto a membership stream." For those of you that have been keeping
Mhm.
track, you know the issues that we run into with open panels.
Mhm.
And yes, they are done as far as Pop Talk is concerned. But I'm not saying that I won't do an occasional special stream where I do let people come on.
Right. I mean, we've seen a lot of that with on other shows too, where you had the live stream, the open streams, and disastrous things have happened. But
Yeah.
I just want to follow through and say this: that not only am I a co-host, I am a member as well. But I'll guarantee you, if I'm on the member stream and it starts to get full, I will drop out in a
Exactly.
heartbeat for
Right.
someone else to come in
Oh,
and participate because I am a co-host. You don't need to hear what I'm saying. And most of the time, I'm doing the same thing Mike is, sitting back listening. Well, I can do that
And,
offline.
and here's the thing too.
yeah.
If it gets to a point where the panel's full, I'll take myself out so another member can join.
Uh,
I'll still be backstage. I'll still be
Look,
replying and listening.
if I decide to pop in there and just to see what's going on for a little while and they need a spot, I'm happy to drop out as well. It's not a big deal. It's really not.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we try to make it worth your time. We're not trying to do, and Mike's not trying to do tiers. He's not trying to find
No.
ways to squeeze money out of you, especially in this era. And it's
Right.
up to you. It really
That's
is up
right.
to you. If you like it and you want to, do it.
Yeah.
And again, anything goes right back, except for the 2 cents a month I get from my pay, goes back to the channel.
Yeah. For example, I'll give you a perfect example. My capture card that I use to capture console games. The one I had was showing signs that it's not going to last long, especially when I'm watching the stream go along as I'm playing and it starts to flicker. And I've gone through every step I know of to fix it, and it's still doing the same thing. And sometimes it's not even detecting the signal from that capture card. Well, the last payment I got from YouTube, I used it to buy a new capture card so that I can continue to stream games that aren't on PC, that are on the PS5 or on the Switch that I have. And granted, I haven't streamed any games from my Switch yet, but that is in the pipeline.
Good. It's fun.
But I want you all to know that 100% of the memberships will go back into the channel.
Mhm.
That is a promise. A promise I intend to keep. And it's like I've told people when they've invited me to live streams. 99.9% of the time when I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. There's that small percent where I may not be able to show up. Like last year, Baron, Cash, and Smoking Patriot were doing a stream talking about Enterprise.
Mhm.
And I was planning on being there. But unfortunately, one of our power poles got hit. knocking out not just the power, but also the internet. So I wasn't able to join. Was I disappointed? Yes, I was. I was disappointed I couldn't join because I was looking forward to talk about this topic. But that was a case where I had to message them and say, I'm not going to be able to make it. This happened, so I'm out.
Mhm.
And just like last year when my old computer went out on me,
Mhm.
I tried joining using my iPad. That was a pain in the butt,
It is.
and it just didn't work as well as I had hoped it would. So that's why you had some episodes of Pop Talk where it was just Cash and Barrett.
Mhm.
And you know they got to talk about things that they thought were interesting, and they did an excellent job on that. But I want you to know that membership or not, I'm going to give you 100% on this channel. I'm going to give you the best content I possibly can. It doesn't matter if it's on YouTube. It doesn't matter if it's on Rumble. It doesn't matter if it's on Twitch or Kick. I'm going to come on here each and every time and give you 100%. And the reason why I say don't ever give up on me in a game, because just when you do, you might miss something. That also relates to my real life. Because I was born with cerebral palsy and I was born premature, people gave up on me. People never gave me a chance. Growing up, people never gave me a chance. Well, I'm here to tell you, I have proven people wrong, and I will continue to prove people wrong. Because I am tired of being looked down upon. I am tired of being kicked around. And that's why I strive each and every day I wake up to give 100% each and every time. And that's why when I say welcome one and all, everybody is welcome here. All I ask is that you respect your fellow panelists, you respect those of us who are on the panel. We have a different opinion? Fine. We have a different opinion. We can work it out. But I want everybody to know that I will give 100%. And if I say something that seems out of line, well, maybe I'm speaking from the heart. When, last night, Phil and I had a disagreement as far as how things were going down between the next generation cast members.
Mhm.
Well, when I'm passionate about something and I know what I'm talking about, you'll hear it in my voice. Just like now. You'll hear it in my voice. I'm not perfect. I never have been perfect. Don't claim to be perfect. Never will be perfect. But there's one thing you can bet your ass on here on Pacific 414. I will give you the content, the best content I can. I will wake up and I will kick ass each and every time I do it. No matter how long it takes me to do it in the game. Matter how long it takes us to do it on Pop Talk. I intend to kick ass each and every time. But I do want to let you all know I do appreciate when you stop by, when you leave a like, when you're chatting. I do appreciate it. And it means a lot. That's why I try to make sure I write a message in the community page on YouTube, on Twitter, thanking everybody for watching. Thanking everybody for watching on Rumble. Gabstab, thank you. Everybody who's watched, thank you. Fat Steven, he's supported me. He's encouraged me. He's helped me. And I want to thank him. I don't know if he's ever going to hear this, but I want to thank him. I want to thank Loki and so many other creators who have helped me, who have encouraged me. Thank you very much. And just know we may get silly here on Pop Talk, but I'd rather get silly on Pop Talk instead of being a stick in the mud or have a stick up my ass each and every episode. But honestly, if it wasn't for someone like DJ Ronnie G, I wouldn't be doing this. Phil McCracken, I wouldn't be doing this. Leia Rhodes, again, same thing. Same verse. Pat Wannabe, Anonymous, Jason Fox, thank you, Jace. Old Man, Darren, and Wade, and so many more. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you gentlemen have anything else you'd like to say before we get out of here, go right ahead.
Protect me from my cats.
They love you, Baron. They love you.
Torment me.
Well, he'll check. He'll be there later, and he'll be like, "Hey, how's it? Oh crap." What's that blood over there? I don't know. Yeah.
That got dark.
I know.
I didn't do it this time either.
No. You're just rubbing off on him. You're a bad influence.
Yeah, we're a bad influence on each other. That's why we're pirates. Arr!
Arr!
I am not pirate. I am not pirate. How many times do I have to tell you, child wearing uniform, Starfleet officers? I am not a pirate. I am Klingon. And that's right. Every stream, the Klingon spirit is with me. The warrior spirit. Do not give up. Do not surrender. Go on there. Kick ass each and every time. That is one thing that I have learned from watching one particular YouTuber who I have already mentioned. But he lights the fires each and every week. And that's Loki. Get out there and kick ass is what I get from him. You want to do something on stream? Do it. You want to start streaming yourself? Do it. What's holding you back? I don't see anything holding anybody back from streaming. So again, thank you everybody. And I hope you have a good Sunday, good week, and I hope to see you at some point during the week. But also remember, don't ever give up on me in a game, because just when you do, you might miss something.
Autobots, transform and roll out!
This is Patrick Stewart, and I wish to tell Phil McCracken that I hate him also.